Hey guys, it's Tyler, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make this website step by step with no steps skipped. But you probably don't want to make this exact website step by step with no steps skipped. You probably want to make your own website. Maybe you're a business who needs more customers, a church who needs more members, a nonprofit who needs more donations. Maybe you're old and just bored. Maybe you want to be a web developer. Whatever it is, we're going to do it together, and we're going to have fun, and it's going to be easy. The stuff is so easy. I'm going to be making the website based on Google's Cardboard website. So Google Cardboard is this virtual reality that you slide out and you put your phone into, like, you slide it in and you can look through here and you can be in like Paris or LA or France or inside of a game, and it looks like virtual reality. So I thought their website was really cool, and so I grabbed all of their pictures and I recreated it, and I want to show you guys how to do the same thing and how to recreate a really cool website. And this is so that you can actually go to any website that you want, and you can take different elements of that website and put them on your website. So if you see something that's really cool and you visit some cool websites and you're like, oh, how can I put that on my website? That's what I'm aiming here to teach you guys how to do, so you guys can have a true understanding of how to build a website and not just copy something step by step. Even though you can do that too, but my goal is for you to have a real understanding of creating a website. All right, so this is the website that we're going to be making, again, step by step with no step skipped. We're going to be putting in this logo here, and I'm going to show you how to make the logo. All of these different pages, these headline here, this big image in the background. It looks very cool. I'm going to show you how to make it color coordinated, which just really polishes the website off. I'm going to show you how to put this in, like, it divides the spaces. So this is one space and this is another space. It kind of divides it. It makes it look really awesome. I'm going to show you how to put in different columns. So if you could imagine, this is one column and this is the second column, and this is a whole row. I'm going to explain all of that. I'm getting a little ahead of myself because I'm so excited about it. But I'm going to show you how to put in all of this stuff, this call to action at the bottom, these really big text, so that it really grabs people. People don't look at a huge wall of text. They won't do it. So you need to really make your website very professional. I'm going to show you how to put in these social media icons so it can connect your different social media activities, and these links here at the bottom. And I'm going to show you how to create this about page. And I'm actually very proud of this about page because it has a really cool transparency over this our about team. And I think that's really awesome. This picture is obviously really awesome. And maybe this is like about you, about your company. And maybe you have your different team members, or maybe it's just you. Maybe you have a customer or employee quote, which is really cool, with their image in there. And everything, again, is all color coordinated from the social media icons to the colors to her sleeve, which is really cool. And then we're going to make a services page. And this could be about your services. Maybe you're a consultant. Maybe you have church services. Maybe, I don't know, maybe you're a plumber and you have different services, like my father is a plumber. So we could have your different services here. And we have 3. So this is a 1 column, 2 column, 3 columns. And we have this little divider, and we have a video because I love videos and I think they're very cool. So I'm going to show you how to put in your video, and I do recommend creating a video for your business, nonprofit, or whatever you're doing. And then all of these links work, and we can go to the contact page, and that's very cool. We see the contact page. It says, hello, talk to us, and you can email, or you can call us, or you can fill out this form. It has a very cool orange divider here. You can fill out this form and it will send to the email. So that is awesome. So that's the website that we're going to be making. It is also mobile friendly. So your website will work on any device. It doesn't matter if your customer has a PC, a Mac, an iPhone, an Android, an iPod Touch, an iPad. Whatever it is, they will be able to view your website. You can also build the website with your Mac or PC or Linux computer. So we're going to be making this website in WordPress. WordPress is what's called a content management system, and that's just a fancy way of saying it helps you manage your content. So you have like pictures and images that you want to get on the web, and it just helps you do that. So instead of having to know HTML and CSS and PHP and all this code and stuff, you don't need to do all that. You just need to be just like email, where you upload a photo or where you type in text and it all shows up. So it's really easy, but it's also really professional. Companies like CNN and Forbes and eBay and UPS and GM and Jay-Z and Katy Perry, they all use the same system. They all use WordPress. WordPress is also used by professional web developers and Fortune 500 companies, and it is super professional and super easy, and it is by far the most popular way in the entire world to make a website. So even though that we know that we're going to succeed in creating our website, I wanted to make it even easier. I wanted to make it almost impossible to fail. So this is the Tyler.com companion website, and what I've done is I've taken this whole course and I've made it into individual sections of the video, and then you can mark off your progress. So you can be like 5% done or 30% done or 80% done, and you mark it off, because some people have said the video is so long, sometimes they get lost in the middle of it, and I don't want that to happen, obviously. So I made this Tyler.com companion website so that that will never happen. So you can log in with your Facebook, with your Google Plus, or log in with your email. And the first time you log in, it may say, are you sure you want Tyler.com to log you in? And you press allow. But I've already logged in, so I'm just going to press the login, and I'm going to log in with Google Plus. Once I'm logged in, I'm going to be able to scroll down and see the different courses. And again, I'm designing this, so I'm in the process of redesigning it. The functionality all works, but the design may be changed a little bit when you get here. So we're going to do the How to Make a WordPress Website 2016. That's the video that we're going to work on. So we're just going to click on it. And we can see all of the individual lessons broken down. So these are all of the lessons, and a lot of them are really short, and some of them are a little longer, but they're all super easy. So what we do is you can just check it off right here, or check this off. And if you've already gotten like your hosting and domain name, and you've already installed WordPress, then just go ahead and check a whole bunch of them off so you can keep track of your progress. All right, if you want to see the individual lesson, you can just go ahead and click on it. So right now we're doing the intro, which is this one right here. So we're going to click on it, and obviously I haven't made it because I'm making it right now, but we can press complete lesson, and then it'll complete, and we'll be 4% done, and then we'll go to the next lesson, and so on, and press complete, and then we can keep on going to the next lesson. To get back to all of the lessons, we can just click up here, and we get back to all of the lessons. And again, you can uncheck it. So if you want to go through the video once, or and check them all off, and then you can reset all of them, or do multiple websites, or whatever you want. All right, so now that we know all of that, we have our companion website, we have everything. Let's do an overview of everything that we're going to learn. I have heard that this really helps your mind, like saves space in it, so that it makes the learning a lot easier. So first we're going to do the intro, which we're doing now, and then we're going to get your hosting, your domain name and hosting. Your domain name is like your website name, like my domain name is Tyler.com. Google's domain name is Google.com. And your hosting is a computer that's on 24 hours a day that holds all of your website information. So if you had your website name but no hosting, then your website would come up blank. So you need hosting to hold all of your information, like your text, your images, and all of that. Then we're going to install WordPress. So that's super easy. Then we're going to log into WordPress. We need to log in in order to go into the back end so that we can change things on our website. Then we're going to change our password because they give us a funky password. Then we're going to update WordPress for all the latest bells and whistles. Then we're going to delete plugins. Plugins, they extend the functionality of WordPress. They're like add-ons, but if you have too many of them, sometimes they conflict with each other, and things won't work right. So we have to delete all the plugins so we know that everyone's on the same page. Then we're going to do a theme overview and installation, and a theme is like the skin or the design of your website. So there's like thousands of designs to choose from so that your website will look unique and not like everyone else's. And we're going to install it. Then we're going to learn how to delete pages, because sometimes you'll add a page and you won't want it anymore, so you'll delete it. And then we're going to learn how to add pages like your services page, your contact page, all of that. Once we add all the pages, then they're all going to be up at the top menu. And if none of this makes sense, we're going to go over it. It's going to be super easy. And you can rearrange the menu. Then we're going to add the site title and tagline. This is really good for the search engines to know what your website's about. Then we're going to create your logo. I'm going to show you how to create a logo and insert it into your website. Then we're going to edit the header. The header is at the top of the website. It's like the menu bar at the top. We're going to change the colors and all of that, and add a logo. Then we're going to do the same thing with the footer. Then we're going to change the background color. This is the background color right here. Then we're going to understand plugins. I'm going to go over what plugins are. Plugins, again, extend the functionality of WordPress. So, for example, WordPress doesn't have a contact form by default, but you can just install a free plugin that adds a contact form to your website. Then we're going to install Beaver Builder. Beaver Builder is a plugin that allows you to make your website layout much better than the regular website. Then we're going to create your home page, your about page, your services page, your contact page, again with that contact form. And we're going to make your website mobile friendly so it can work on all mobile devices, iPhones and Android and all of that. Then we're going to add in your social media icons and your fave icon, which is this little icon way up here. I don't know if you can see it, but it really polishes it off and makes it look good. Then we're going to do a summary of everything that we learned, again, just to put it back into your mind, and then we are going to celebrate. So that's it. We are done with the intro, so we're going to mark that off, and we are 4% done. Good job. The next thing that we're going to do is get your domain name and hosting. And remember, this stuff is easy. So let's go ahead and click on it. And let's read what we need to do. So the main points are your domain name. So what is a domain name? Your domain name is the same thing as your website name. My domain name is Tyler.com. Google's domain name is Google.com. Facebook's domain name is Facebook.com. YouTube's domain name is YouTube.com. And Harvard's domain name is Harvard.edu. So you can have a .edu, a .net, and .org. I'm sure you've seen this plenty of times around the internet. So hosting is a little different, where hosting stores all of your information. So like your images and your text. Hosting is a computer that's on 24 hours a day that basically anyone can connect to and get all of your images and text. You see all of this text right here, and any of my images or anything, they're all stored on a computer. So that's all hosting. If I didn't have hosting, none of my images would show up, none of my text would show up, none of these colors would show up. It would just be blank. So hosting holds all of this information. So domain name and hosting does cost money. So a domain name costs $13 per year. So that's your website name. So like Tyler.com, that costs me $13 a year. Where hosting is, again, where we store all of our text and images and everything. We hold all of that information, and that's $10 per month. And we can get that at HostGator.com, and that's what I recommend. So $10 plus $13 plus a little discount is, under $20 to start. So my recommendation is to use HostGator.com for your domain name and hosting. So we can just go there. We can go to HostGator.com. And I recommend them because I've used them for years. So HostGator.com. We could just go there. And again, I've used them for over 10 years, and they have live chat, which is cool. And obviously, I haven't used every host. I'm sure there are other really good hosts out there. This is just who I recommend. There are also some really bad hosts out there. So do your research or whatever, but this is just who I really recommend, and this is who I like. And in my tutorial, HostGator sets things up in a specific way. So we're going to be using, the HostGator way of doing things, but you can still follow this tutorial if you're on another host or if you have other hosts. But that's just, what I recommend. Okay, so once you do that, you can click on web hosting. And then we can choose a plan. You can click it and it'll scroll down for you. And we have 3 different plans right here. So we have the hatchling plan, the baby plan, and the business plan. The interesting thing about all of these plans is that you can upgrade at any time. So why go with the most expensive plan when you can upgrade from the baby plan to the business plan at any time that you want? So it's kind of silly to start off with a business plan or start off even with any of their other plans. Start off with these shared hatchling plan, baby plan, or not the business plan, because that's just too much. So the difference between a hatchling plan and a baby plan is the hatchling plan is a single domain. So like I would only be allowed to have Tyler.com on there, where a baby plan has unlimited domains. So I can have Tyler.com, I can have, my mom's website.com or another business.com or .net or .org or whatever I want. So that's the main difference between, I think that may be the only difference between the hatchling plan and the baby plan, is the baby plan allows unlimited domain names. So unlimited website on your hosting, and which is a really great deal. So you can have a whole bunch of websites. You do have to keep on buying the domain name. So no matter what, the domain name is going to cost you $13 a year, but it's not going to cost you any more for hosting. So I personally have the baby plan, but why would you go with a baby plan if you can upgrade at any time? It just doesn't make any sense. So unless you're going to have 2 websites right out the gate, then go with the baby plan. But if you're not going to have 2 websites right out of the gate, then go with the hatchling plan, single domain name, single website, and that will be your best bet. So we can click sign up now. And once we do that, it's going to ask for our domain name. So what do we want our domain name to be? So, and we have all these different extensions, this .com, these are called extensions. So mine's going to be getmecardboard.com, and it's going to see if that's available. And it's going to say, yes, this is available. Do you want to add any of these other websites and these other extensions? And I'm going to say, no, I don't want to do that. So we have all of these different ones, and you can use a different one. It's cool and it's common to use, .space or .co or .club or, .website. You can use any of those if this is not available. A lot of the times your domain name is not going to be available. So, what do? You just use a different extension, or you come up with maybe a more creative domain name. If you already own your domain name, for example, you went to GoDaddy.com because you didn't want to, lose the name, and you already purchased it, you can click I already own this domain name and put it in right here. All right, but since we're getting it new, we're starting fresh, just put your domain name right in here. All right, I don't think that you need other extensions. So I don't recommend getting the .org, .net, .me. Of course, these businesses are going to tell you that you need to do it and it's important, but I don't think it is important. I just think just go with the .com or the .net or the .org or the .space or whatever you have, and don't worry about getting a whole bunch of ones and running up your cost. All right, so it's going to ask you, and sometimes it gets a little tricky here because sometimes they move this around, but it's going to ask you, do you want privacy protection? And I honestly don't think that you need it. And again, you can add it at any time later. But what this does is anyone can look up anyone's information. So if you have let's say google.com and they don't have privacy, we can see where they do business. We can see their address, we can see their email and stuff. So I trust people, so I'm not going to hide my privacy. I'm not going to do privacy protection, but that is really up to you. And I think it just disappeared, so I don't know where that went. So we're going to have to figure out where that is later. All right, so we have the hatchling plan, and that's what we want. And here it's going to ask you, okay, for 36 months, do you want to do it? And you get a bigger percent off the more months you go. So we're going to do it month to month. And I just personally like to have it on month to month, just so, you know, even though HostGator has been good for 10 years, you know, what if they start sucking? I don't want to be locked in for 36 months, but you know, then again, it's probably smarter to you know, go longer term because you get a bigger discount. So that's, you know, really up to you. You can do somewhere in the middle. But I just like going month to month so that my overhead, you know, when you start a business is as low as possible. So that's my thinking on that. Secure username. Okay, I think that's, you know, whatever. Security pin, who knows? You just enter in those, and then it's going to say all of your billing information and your credit card and your credit card number, and or you can, you know, pay with PayPal if you're from a country where they're not accepting your credit card. All right, then we're going to do additional add-ons. So, and again, you can add these anytime you want later. So I'm just going to uncheck them, and I don't think that you really need them. Really, I mean, there are, I don't think you need them. So we're just going to uncheck them. And then it's going to say, okay, enter your coupon code. And we have a better coupon code. So we're going to put in 35. That's THIRTYFIVE. And this saves you 35% instead of the 20%. So click validate, and you can see that the price will drop down. So it's dropped down way below. So it's gone from, you know, $11.68, which I don't know if it's always that cheap. I thought it was a little more expensive than that, but that's what it is. And I do get credit for this. So thank you very much for putting this in. I really appreciate it. It helps me make these free tutorials. All right, so then we review our order. We have, you know, 24/7, 365 phone, live chat, and email support, free account activation, free money back guarantee, 45 days. Domain name registration, $6. Hatchling 1 month, about $6 in the discount. So it comes out to $11.68. So that's cheaper than I expected. I thought it was more close to 20, but maybe they're having some sort of discount right now. All right, so you click I have read and agree to the terms, and you press checkout. Then it's going to tell us that our order is complete and welcome us to the HostGator family. Isn't that nice of them? That's when you know it's time. You can go ahead and check your email. Your email is going to contain all of the information that you need in order to build your website. So we are done with this. So let's go back here. And that's actually click, hold, and drag it out. So it drags into a new window. All right, so now that we have done that, we can press complete. So complete lesson, and we can see that it will raise our percentages. So that's pretty cool. And the next thing that we're going to do is we're just going to go back to the main thing right here. And we have completed both of these lessons. And the next lesson that we're going to do is install WordPress. So in order to do that, again, we need to go to our email. So let's go ahead and install WordPress. So we're just going to minimize this and go to our email. So my email is gmail.com. And we can see that we have an email from HostGator.com, and we can go ahead and go over to the Tyler.com course, and we can click install WordPress. Just click on it right here. and we can look at the main points. So the first thing is we need to get the email from our hosting provider. That happened. We need to log into the control panel, which I'll explain. And we need to, under software and services, click on WordPress, install WordPress, save your password, and then it's party time / break time. All right, so let's go ahead and do that. We got our email from our hosting provider. Now we need to log into the control panel. So here is the email from HostGator. Let's go ahead and click on it. And we can see that it gives us all of this important information. We're going to want to save this information, maybe print it out or just save it to your computer, or maybe just keep it in your email. But just know that it is super important information. Gives you all your usernames and passwords to everything. Okay, so what we want to do is log into our control panel like we said before. So this is where we can install WordPress. All right, so just go ahead and click on this link. And we are going to see, let me refresh that. We are going to see something that looks like this. All right, so just go ahead and put in your username. You can highlight it, right click, copy, right click, paste, and password. We could do the same thing here, copy, here, paste. All right, and press login. All right, once we're logged in, we don't need this tab up here anymore, so we can get rid of it. Then we want to scroll down until we see software / services. And this is how we install WordPress. So we can click on quick install. And on the left side over here, it says WordPress. So go ahead and click on WordPress. I know, super easy stuff. And they're gonna say, we can install WordPress for you for a lot of money, but you're not gonna do that because you're not gonna fall for that stuff. All right, so we're just gonna press install WordPress. We're gonna do it ourselves. Okay, and now it's going to ask you, where do you want to install WordPress on? So right now you probably only have one domain name. You probably only have one website name. But especially if you got the hatchling plan, then you're only allowed one domain name. But I have the baby plan, so I have all of these domain names. So I'm going to use the one that we got, which was getacardboard.com. Now it's going to say / something here. No, you want to install WordPress on your main website and not / something else. So make sure this is blank. All right, admin email. We can, just put in your email address, not mine, obviously. And then title, maybe we can put cardboard, or I don't know, whatever the title of your website is. And we can always change this later. Don't worry about this at all. All right, admin user, that can just be your name and first name and last name. Then we click install WordPress. And it says okay, and then, this is just an advertisement. Right up here, it's installing. So it says your installation is complete. Your install is complete. So now what we can do and what we have to do, and this is kind of weird here, but we have to click this to view our credentials. So this is our username and password that they generated for us. So with this step, we're going to make sure that we copy this down. So just highlight it and copy it somewhere. We got to make sure that we have our username and password. So make sure you copy that. So right now we can't go to our website yet because it takes a little while for everything to work. It could take 2 hours, it could take up to 24 hours for it to work. And that's why I put party time / break time, because if we see here, we've done all of these things. We've saved your password, you saved it, right? But now let's take a break. Let's get up, let's go outside. I'm gonna go on a hike or something, or maybe eat some lunch and take a little break, because we need to take a break for everything to start working for our website to really go online. So that takes a little while. So make sure you copy all of this, and we can now mark this installing WordPress as done. So we can complete the lesson and we can see it rise. Now we're 11% done. That's awesome. Good job. Go take a break, and when we come back, we are going to log into your website after the 2 to 24 hours, but it'll probably take anywhere from 2 to 4 hours. All right, see you soon. So it's been about 3 hours, and the next thing that we're gonna do is we're gonna check to see if our website works, and then we're gonna log into our website. To check to see if your website works, just go to yourwebsite.com or whatever your website name is. So let's just go to our website, getacardboard.com, and as we can see, it works. This is the default WordPress 2016 theme. It's not that much of a looker, but some web developers charge hundreds of dollars just to get here. So you've saved yourself some money in 20 to 30 minutes. So that's pretty awesome. So now we can see that our website works. What do we need to do next? So we can pull up our Tyler.com companion website and go to all of the lessons by clicking up here. And we need to log into WordPress, and that includes logging in, logging out, explaining what the dashboard is, and explaining what the black bar on the top of your website is when you log in. All right, so to log in, we go to ourwebsite.com/WP-admin. And why WP-admin? Because WP stands for WordPress, and the dash is like a space, and admin because you're the administrator. You're the big boss. You're captain of your own ship, master of your destiny. All right, I'm just trying to get you to remember WP-admin. If you ever forget, then just go to my website and, see how to do it, /WP-admin. All right, and we want to log in because if we don't log in, then we can't change anything on our website. So that's super important. So let's just copy our username and paste it, and copy our password and paste it. I'm right clicking. If you're on a Mac and on a laptop, you can press Control and click. All right, I think, yes, Control and click. All right, then press log in. Now you're logged into the back end of the website where you can make all your website changes. And the back end of a WordPress website is called a dashboard. So all of this is your dashboard. All right, so once we do that, we can actually go and visit our site again by clicking on this. And now we see a black bar up here. This doesn't show for anyone else except for you. So we're in here, and it shows that we're logged in by this black bar, and we can always log out by hovering over here and pressing log out. Then we can go to our website again, and this is how regular users will see our website. So we're going to go to ourwebsite.com again, /WP-admin. I'm going to keep on repeating it until you get it. And we're going to log in one more time. So we're just going to copy that, paste it, and copy this and paste this. All right, then press login, and again you're logged in back into your dashboard. And that concludes logging into your website. Let's mark this as complete, and we could just mark it as complete right here, and we see that our progress jumps to 15, and this stuff is easy, and it'll get faster as we go along. All right, so that is that. And congratulations, you've made it to line 2. The next thing that we're going to do is change your password, change your WordPress password. It is pretty easy, so let's just go ahead and do that. To do that, you log in, obviously. Watch the previous video if you don't know how to log in. And go to Users and click on our username. And scroll down and press Generate Password. Now we can use this. It's a very good and strong password. Or you can do something else. All right, so maybe we want that to be the password, and we can update profile. Once we update our profile and password, it will be our password, and we can exit out of this tab, exit out of this quick install tab that had our old password. All right, once we've done that, we can go back to our dashboard and we are done with that one. That one was easy. Let's complete the lesson and let's watch it progress. All right, so 19% done. The next thing that we're gonna do is update WordPress. We wanna update WordPress because first of all, it has all the latest bells and whistles, all the latest features. And the second reason is because it has the best security. So you get really good security when you always keep your WordPress up to date. So go ahead and click on Dashboard, and underneath it, you should see Updates. Now, right now, we don't have any updates. But if you did have updates, it would say, update this WordPress, and you would click on it and it would update. Also, you would be able to update themes right here, and you just click on them and you would update. I'm sorry to say that there are no updates for me right now. I wish I could show you a better example, but we have the latest version of WordPress already installed. So that is how you update. We don't need to update anything, and it's good if you don't need to update anything. That's awesome. So just complete the lesson and watch it progress. 22%. All right, let's keep on going. The next thing that we're going to do is delete our plugins. Now, why do we want to delete our plugins? We want to do this because, well, first, what are plugins? Plugins extend the functionality of WordPress. Anyone can make really cool things like contact forms or page sliders or visual builders, or, you know, they just make add-ons for WordPress. And you want to delete them because sometimes all of these add-ons, all of these extras that people add in, sometimes they conflict with each other. So we're deleting all the plugins, so we start from scratch so that everyone's on the same page. So in order to do that, click on Plugins and check this box off, which will select both of them. Right now we have 2 plugins activated. We first want to deactivate them, and then we want to delete them and press apply. Now this will make sure that everyone is on the same page and we don't have a bunch of add-ons or plugins that conflict with each other. All right, so once we do that, we can complete the lesson and make some progress. So now we're gonna start getting into the fun stuff, and the next thing that we're gonna do is install our theme and tell you what the theme is. So what is a theme? A theme is the design of your website. So you can think of it like clothing. Right now, the theme has this type of clothing on it, or this type of design on it, but we can swap it out and have different designs, and the inside, like the inside of the person, doesn't change, but the outside does. So it's best to just demonstrate what a theme is. You could think of a theme as like a skin, or a theme as a template, sometimes people call it, but in WordPress they call it a theme. So we can go over to Appearance and Themes, and we can see that right now, and maybe yours only has one, but right now I have 3 different themes already installed. There's only one that's activated, and that's the 2016 theme. There's a 2015 theme, and we can activate it here if we want, or a 2014 theme, and we can activate it here. So this will change the design and look of our website, but it's not going to change what WordPress is on the inside. All right, so there are a whole bunch of free themes, and we can access those by clicking on Add New. So we add new, and then we have all of these themes, or all of these different designs to choose from, and they're all free. So they look a lot different, but you know, essentially their core is the same. So just like when you're using clothing, some clothing has pockets, some clothing has a windbreaker or maybe a hood. So the clothing has different features. Same thing with the theme. So some themes have different features. Some themes are, you know, only half width, and some themes can go all the way across. They're called full width themes. And some themes are, you know, dark, and some themes are light, and some themes are really customizable, and some themes aren't. So I do have a favorite theme, and it's not from here. It is on tesseracttheme.com. So that's TESSERACTTHEME.com. Now this is very cool, and I had input on creating this theme. So I wanted, specific features that people have asked me for, and I told the people over at Tesseract Theme I want this, this, and this, and they added it. So that's very cool. You can just click on download theme, but before you do that, you can look at sample sites. So what are some pages that are built with this theme? So we can look at here, and these were all built on the Tesseract theme. So you can see you get a very diverse, different colors and big images, and I think that's what really people want to see, and that's what people like. And I had some input in telling them what I wanted, which was cool. So I really, really like this. And it pretty much allows you to make anything that you want, and that's why I like it. I also like it because it's free. So we could just go back to the main site and we can press download theme. Now, just go ahead and download that to your desktop or drag it to your desktop. I like to put it on my desktop because then I know where it is. I don't have to go digging in all these files and folders. So once you've downloaded it, download it to your desktop. Then if you click on Appearance and Add New, you can upload your theme. So we're uploading it. So just click on Upload Theme and choose File. So because I saved it to my desktop, I'm just going to choose the theme and open it and install now. Now we've installed the theme, but it's still not live yet. We have to activate it. So even though it's installed on our website, it's not yet activated. So you just click on Activate. So now you've both installed and activated your theme, and now you know what a theme is. Let's go ahead and check it out. So click on Visit Site. And we can see that the design of the website has changed, and it's very cool. And let's go ahead and check off our progress. So complete this lesson. Now we are 30% done, and the next thing that we need to do is delete our pages. So not all of them, just one of them. So let's go ahead and delete pages, and by this, they have a sample page in WordPress, and so we just want to delete that sample page and learn how to delete pages. So this one is super easy. Let's just go to our dashboard, and let's go to Pages. This is where you create and delete pages, and let's hover over Sample Page, and that's this page right here. We can see it, Sample Page, right here. So let's go to our dashboard. Let's go to Pages. Let's hover over it, and you'll see Trash. Click on it, and then it deletes and it goes into the trash. And we can click on Trash, and we can delete it permanently if we want. That's just like on your computer when you empty your trash, it deletes permanently. Same thing goes on there. We can go ahead and check our page, and we don't see that sample page up here anymore. So that is how you delete pages. Super easy. And let's do that. Felt like we were cheating on that one. That was too easy. The next thing that we're going to be doing is adding pages to our website. Pages are just like what they sound like. They're just different pages on your website. I don't know any other way to explain it. Maybe I can show you. So on Airbnb, they have different pages. They have a How It Works page. They have a Become a Host page, a Help page, a Sign Up page, and a Login page. On Skype, they have a Downloads page, a Business page, a Rate page, and a Help page. On the website that we're going to make, it's going to have a home page, an about page, a services, and a contact. And you'll notice that these don't have home pages because when you get to the site, it is their home page. And when you click on their logo, it goes to the home page. So if we go on to the help page and we click on their logo, it will go back to the home page. Now our website works like that also, where you click on the logo and it goes back. but we've opted to have a home page here. But that's definitely something that is optional and definitely something to look at. So in addition to all these pages up here, these are like the most important pages. We also have pages down here at the footer. So this is called the header because it's at the top. And this is called the footer because it's at the bottom, like your feet. So they have more pages here, and maybe the top of the website, it gets clicked on more, and the bottom is, not any less important, but maybe it gets clicked on less. There are less people looking for careers than they are who want to become a host or sign up. So if we click on the careers page, we can see that it goes to airbnb.com/careers. So that's what we want. We want it to be /, and this is the careers page. So if that is very obvious, you can say, Tyler, okay, let's just make pages already. All right, so now let's make our home, about, services, and contact page. Plus, we're going to make one more at the bottom, the terms of use. And a terms of use page is like your agreement with the user and how they use the website or your products or services. So maybe this terms of use would say, don't get mad at us if you get all dizzy and stuff. We told you to stop using it. You agree to stop using, this Google Cardboard if you start getting all dizzy and start feeling weird, which is, possible, I think. So let's go ahead and add our pages. So what we simply do is we click on pages in the dashboard and we click add new. And the pages that we're going to be doing are home. So you just type in home, and if we click here, it will go to ourwebsite.com/home. So that's like /careers. And I'll show you how to change that later, so it's just the regular home page. But you get the point, publish. And once we've published it over here, then we add new. And right now we're just adding pages, so this would be about. So we can publish it. And we see our website.com or whatever /about. So that's our about page. We add new. And we have services, maybe. Publish. Add new, and contact. Publish. All right, we're also going to add one more. So we're going to add new, and this one's going to go at the footer or the bottom of our website, and we're going to call this terms of use. All right, and then we're going to publish it. And we are actually going to add things to this. So let's go ahead and go to google.com, our terms of use generator. We can obviously make one ourselves too. And I looked through a few of these and I like this one, bennadel.com. I hope I said his name right. If I didn't, Ben, I'm sorry. Just click on it, and this one was the easiest one that didn't want any money or anything. So company name, I'm going to say Tyler.com. Company state, I'm in California. Obviously, yours would be different. Generate terms of service agreement. Thank you, guys. And so it has all of the terms. It says, I don't even know what it says, but it just protects you from whatever. So right here is we can copy all of the stuff right here. And then if we copy it, then we can paste it in here. But before we paste it, we have to make sure that we paste it as plain text. So let me show you that. Let me show you copy. And I'm going to paste it, but before I do that, I want to paste it as plain text because it could have weird formatting. So we want to toggle this toolbar right here, and we have this paste as plain text. So just click on that, and now it says you can paste it as plain text, so we can just paste. And we see that, it all kind of gets scrunched up together. and we want to paste it as plain text because you never know what kind of different code they have that's not compatible with our website in their website. Or, if you're going from Microsoft Word, sometimes it has special characters or formatting that you don't see, and you paste it in here and it kind of messes things up. All right, so that is looking fine, but it's just looking fine. It's not looking that great. And what we can do is we can, highlight it and make it a heading, but all of it becomes a heading and it needs spaces. But we can make the spaces by going over here and pressing enter. I'm sure you guys know how to do this stuff. And then, making different headings, and I'll explain what the headings are in a second. We could do all of that, or we can just select all by Control A if you're on a PC, or Command A if you're on a Mac, and going to text, clicking on text, and then copying their code basically, which is cool. So let's just copy all of their code. And if you click it once, it will automatically highlight for you. So let's copy all of their code and let's paste it in the text. So this is like the HTML code that we're copying. And now it should, if we go back to visual, get all of that formatting right and everything. All right, so now that we're here, and make sure this is toggled right here, or you're not going to see any of the options. Now that we're here, we can do different things. So again, you can build your entire website just in this editor, even though I'm going to show you how to get a more powerful editor so you can have full width images in the background and things like that. So you can like highlight this and align it center. And if this one aligns center too, you can just make a space and not align that center. And just do all different types of things, just like Microsoft Word. You can underline things. You can add more spaces. You can make things into paragraphs, or pretty much do whatever you want. Add spaces in between all of these, which is a good idea, so it looks a little more separated. And then once we're done, we can update. So we'll update it, and then now what we can do is view our page and see what it looks like. And we can see first of all that there's new menu items up here, or new pages up here, and some of them repeat and they're in the wrong order, and this terms of use should not be up here. It should be at the bottom. But we can also see that our terms of use page is here, and it's formatted pretty good. It's looking pretty good, except for this page is the default page with the sidebar. We want it to be a full width page. A full width page is just what it sounds like. It goes all the way across. So how do we do that? We go ahead and click on edit page. And again, if we're in the dashboard, we can also click on pages and get there. But we can click on edit page just to make it quick. And under template right here towards the right, we can click on full width page and press update. And now what that is going to do is make it so it goes all the way across. Very cool. It's looking good. It's looking good for a terms of use page. These don't have to be anything fancy. If you wanted to add in a picture, you can simply, let's say we wanted to add in a picture here, you can add media, and you can select files from your computer and add one in. We're not going to do that. So that's pretty easy. And we can do, some other basic editing. This isn't a very good editor to make your website. You won't make any website like Airbnb or Skype or anything with this editor, but it's good for just regular pages. If you want to make a regular page really fast, then it's excellent. Some other things that we can do is we can highlight any text we want. We can change the color. We can also make these headings. So let me explain these headings. Heading 3 is the third largest heading. Heading 1 is the largest, 2 is second largest, and 6 is really small. So we can change around those headings just by highlighting and doing the headings. We can make things bold or italic, or you can make lists by clicking on this, or a bullet list by clicking on this one. You could put in quotations. You could do all types of things. You can also make links. So let's say you want this website, or we can click on a link, and we can say we want this to link to a URL. We can, type in google.com or whatever we want. Or what we can do more likely is click on this and say we want this to go to the About page, and add a link, and that U will become a link, and if you click on it, it'll go to the About page. We obviously don't want that either, so we can remove the link right there. All right, once we do that, we can press Update, and there's some, more formatting things, some special characters we can add. But we're not going to get into that because this is kind of not the best way to make a page, really, unless you're making a real simple page like this terms of use page. All right, so we're going to press Update, and we're going to view our page again, and we're going to see that, we have all of the pages here. And if we go to them, they're going to be blank, and they're going to have that sidebar because we didn't make it full width. And if we go to the terms of use, it's going to work, but obviously we have stuff to do. Because we don't want this up here. So we're going to exit out of here, and we're going to pull up what we need to do and what we have done. So we're going to complete this lesson. So just go ahead and complete it and watch our progress. The next thing that we're going to do is super gratifying. We're going to rearrange our navigation menu. So for this, we don't want two homes. We want these to be in a different order, maybe contact last and services third, or home first and about second. And we want this terms of use to be all the way down here and not up here. So how do we do that? It's super easy. Once we're on our website, we can go to Customize. Let's go to our home page first, actually. Let's go to Customize, and we click on Menus. So we're going to add a new menu by just clicking this button right here, and this one's going to be called the header. It can be called whatever you want it to be called. You can call it head or top, or it doesn't really matter. So press Create Menu. And it says, where is the location? So the location is at the head of the website. So we're going to check off header. And then we're going to add items. So now this is blank. We need to add items to it. So we're going to add pages, the pages that we just made. So click on Pages. And we're not going to add this custom link home. We're going to add the home page, because a custom link home is like a blog page. So we're not going to do that. We're going to add the home page. Then we're going to add the about, and then services and contact. And as you can see over here, it adds. What we can do is, if we add them in the wrong order, is we can just click, hold, and drag, and we can rearrange it. And we can see that it rearranges over here. What we can also do is click, hold, and drag it in, and then it'll become a second menu item. So if you hover over here, we can see that it drops down. But we don't want to do that either. We want it to be in the order of home, about, services, and contact. Some web sites, they get rid of the home page. So they exit out of here. So it'd only be about, services, and contact. And when you clicked on their logo or text, it'll take you back to the home page. But since I just want to have a home page up here, I'm just going to leave it. All right, then press Save and Publish. And now we have made our header navigation menu. Now our footer is the same, and we don't want it to be the same. We also want it to have our terms of use. So we can go ahead and add another menu, and I'm going to name this one Footer and Create Menu. Once we do that, we're going to add it to the footer. And we're going to add items. So we're not going to put in the home page. We're just going to put in the about, services, contact, and terms of use. and we're going to press save and publish, and we're going to exit out of here. And we can see that it is now saved. So we can go to that terms of use or the contact page or whatever page we want, and we can click on this to go back home or this to go back home. And once we do that, then we're done with creating and rearranging the menus. So we did the header and the footer, and we can mark it off. So we're just going to press complete lesson, and we're up to 41%. All right, the next thing that we're going to do is our site title and tagline. So the site title is, right now, it's cardboard. It's what you put in for when you installed your WordPress. And I told you can change it. Your tagline is, if you hover over here, right up here, right now mine says, I don't know if you can see that, but it says just another WordPress website, and that is the default tagline. All right, so how do we change this, and what does this do or mean? So if we go to google.com and type in a website I have in quotes, it'll say, Tyler, explore everything and do what you love. So Tyler, that is the site title, and the tagline is explore everything and do what you love. So this shows up in the search engines just like this. So Tyler, it has this line right here, and it says explore everything and do what you love. And so this is going to show up in the search engines, and you know, Google is going to know what your site is about by what you say here. So if you put in something like Dan's Plumbing, Los Angeles plumber, we could put that. We can see, we can see that it says right here, Dan's Plumbing, Los Angeles plumber. So if we click on that, we can see that Dan's Plumbing, even though there's a logo here, that's the site title, and the tagline is Los Angeles plumber. So when people are searching on Google for Los Angeles plumber, this has a chance to come up. So you definitely want to think about what kind of keywords you want in your site title and tagline. So to change this, all we have to do is go to Customize, then go to Header Options and Site Identity. So right now it says cardboard, and maybe we'll keep that, but we can change that. We can put hello or anything that we want. Later we're going to replace this with a logo. So just put whatever you want right here as your site title. In your tagline, we could put, you know, experience it. Or, you know, we'd probably put something more and better with the better keywords. And we could uncheck display header and text or check it off. And later we're going to put a site, a logo up here. So if we save and publish, we can see, and exit out of here, we can see that it changes from just another WordPress website up here to cardboard experience it, which is very cool, and that is what is going to show up in the search engines. All right, so that is our site title and tagline. Let's press complete, and we are done with that. The next thing that we're gonna do is create our logo. So we want our logo just to have the icon in it, just like Apple's or just like Google Cardboards. Of course, you can make your logo with the icon and your name next to it, like a lot of websites. Like up here, if you see the little Apple symbol and their name next to it, we can make something like that. Or you could just make the icon itself, and I'll show you how to do both of them, but let's learn how to create a logo. All right, so we're gonna minimize this, and we're gonna go back to our main website, and let's create the logo first. So just open up a new tab and go to Logo Maker, LOGOMAKR, there's no E in there, .com, and this is a free logo maker. And if we click next, it'll show us how it works, but I'm gonna show you. And so we want something that looks like Google Glasses. So I'm gonna just type in glasses right here. And you can look through all of them, but I've noticed that mine isn't showing up. So what do you do if you need more logos or icons than this? And of course, you go to google.com and you search for free icons. And you get to a website called iconfinder.com right here. And I'm going to search for glasses again because I want something that looks like, the Google glasses. So if we just scroll down and search for something, I will see this Google glasses right here, but it's not the exact right color. I don't want it to be this dark. If we looked at, again, Google's icon, it's like a gray right here. All right, so we want it to be more gray than just completely black. Now, which format do you download it in? Do you download it SVG, PNG, AI, or CSH? And you want to download it as SVG because SVG means that it's vector format. That means that this shape is created by numbers, meaning that you can blow it up as big as you want without it getting pixelated. You know how sometimes when you zoom into images and you start seeing it looks like blurry, you start seeing all these pixels? Well, SVG doesn't do that because it's based on math. Like this, corner right here that says, they say it's a 90-degree curved corner, and so that never gets pixelated because you could zoom up, infinitely on it. So we want to download it as SVG and just go ahead and save this to your desktop. All right, once that's saved to your desktop or dragged into your desktop, it's on my desktop right now. We're going to want to just go back to Logo Maker, and we're going to want to drag it into Logo Maker. And now that we've dragged it into Logo Maker, again, this is based on math. This is an SVG file, so we can blow it up as big as we want, and you can see that the quality is still perfect. All right, so the reason why we wanted to put it into Logo Maker is because we want to make this a different color. So we can make it, if we go over here and we choose the paint bucket, we can just make it a different color. So we want it to be a specific color of gray. So we want it to be, and you can see the numbers that correspond with the color right here. So we want it to be 646464 because that's what is going to look good. That's what this color is up here. All right. So once we do that, we can just click on it and go like this. All right, there's another thing that we want to be aware of. If we just save this right here, it's going to be very tall. So it's going to be very big in here. It's going to take up the whole thing. But if we crop it and give it some space like that, then it will have a little more padding on the top and bottom. So let's just do that and let's save it. And again, save it to your desktop. So I'm going to save it to my desktop and I'm going to save this as logo. All right. Now that that's saved to my desktop, I'm going to go back to our website. I'm going to get rid of this and just exit out of that. And I'm going to go to customize. And I'm going to go to header options. And I'm going to go to header logo. Then I'm going to select image and select files. And we don't want to get the SVG. We want to get the logo.png. And a PNG, that's a very interesting file type. It has a transparency, not color, but behind it, it's all transparent so that when you put your logo in, it's going to take whatever color your background is. So we're going to choose this image and it's going to replace right here. And we can make the logo height a little smaller like that. maybe somewhere in between. And again, since it's a PNG, it takes the color, it is transparent, so it will take the color of whatever this background is. All right, but we're gonna change this to white anyways. But we're gonna save and publish. And just a couple of more things about logos and Logo Maker. If we go back to Logo Maker, and you want, again, just some abstract art. Whoopsie daisy. Let's say this or something. And we want to put text on the side and make it bigger, then we can do that. And that's, you know, more like a regular logo that you would see in other places. Or maybe if you had a business card, you'd put this here and this here. And you can, of course, you know, color it different colors. There we go. Color it different colors. All right, so that is how you, and then you save it and it works fine. So that's how you would make a regular logo. All right, but we're making this logo, so that looks very good. And we can check off our progress. Let's see. So that's like that or like that. And we can check off our progress that we have created our logo. And we're done with that, and we've made some progress. The next thing that we're going to be doing is editing our header. So we're going to be changing the colors and the links, the link colors and the size of our header. So if we look over at this header, remember header is at the top just like your head, we can see that this background for the header is a certain color and the links are a certain color, and when you hover over them they turn a certain color. And the same thing with Apple. Their background's a certain color and the links when you hover over them are a certain color and it's a certain size. So how do we change all of this stuff? It's pretty easy. We go back to our website and we go to customize. Then we click on header options and header colors. That's the first thing that we're gonna mess around with is header colors. And so Google's header colors, if we look over here, is a specific color, and the color has a hex or a hex number to it. So a hex color code, and that color code we can see right here. So these are all of the different color codes, and you can see that it changes. So this green is, you know, this color code, and this blue is 003AEA. And so the Google color code is some sort of gray. If you want to get gray, just click on this black right here and just mess around with this gray right here. So Google's color code is FA. Press enter and we can see that it changes, but now we can't really see our links. So for the header, so let's go ahead and change the header link color, and that's this right here. And let's change that to 7C, 7C, 7C. And now we can see it a little better because it's a darker gray. Of course, we could change that to any color we want. And when it hovers, when you hover over this, what color is it? Right now it's a blue, but we don't want it to be a blue. We want it to be an orange like Google has it. So that's FF7D54 will give us a nice orange color. See, when we hover over it, it's now orange. And for the header text color, that doesn't really pertain to anything that we're doing right now. But if you put text like a phone number up here, it would be that color. So we can change that to the same color, 7C, 7C, 7C. Or just drag it around, it doesn't really matter. So once we're done with that, we can press save and publish. And we have some more options here like header size. So how big is this right here? So it could be very big or very small. Very small, like Apple's is very small. And we can make this one, you know, just normal. Also, we have an option here if we want to go full width. So does the menu go all the way across, and or does it, just have a column right here? Is this logo all the way to the left side, or does it, have space in between? We're going to do space in between, so we're not going to set it to full width. All right, there's some other things that we have options. We have the header right block content, and we can put in buttons in here if we want, or nothing, or maybe a search menu bar where we can search bar, or maybe even another menu. We're going to keep that as nothing. These are just examples of what you can do. All right, so I think that's all for that. We'll press save and publish, and we're going to make it stand out a little more in just a second. But then we're going to exit it out, and we are done with the header colors. So we're going to lift this up right here, and we're going to press complete lesson. So we're done with that. The next thing that we're going to do is edit our footer. It's pretty much the same way that we edit our header. So what we can do is just minimize this, and the footer is like your feet at the bottom of the website right here. Okay, so we can go ahead and press customize. And we've already added this custom menu to the footer. So that was kind of like, editing the footer in a way. And again, we did that by clicking on menus and adding a menu to the footer location. All right, so let's go to footer options, and let's go to footer color. And the background, again, we can change to any color we want, kind of like disco or something, I don't know. But we're going to change it to F1, F1, F1. And again, that's like a light gray. But now we can't see anything, so we need to change our footer text color. So we're going to change that all to 7C, 7C, 7C. And this is just the hex code again. It's just the code of the color. And maybe we'll copy this, and we'll do that for the rest of these. Paste, enter, and paste and enter. All right, so then the hovered color length, maybe we'll do it a little darker. So maybe we'll do it like a 58765 5B 5B 5B, and when you hover over it, it will turn a little bit darker. So that's kind of cool. All right, so we can go back, and now we can change things like the footer size. Do we want it to be really big or really small, or just right in the middle? And do we want it to go all the way across or have a little spacing in between? So that's this right here. And we're gonna make it, have a little spacing. So that's fine. And then do we want your logo to be in there? We can check it off, and then the logo can go right in there. Oh, that's a different logo, sorry. So if you want a different logo to go in here, you can select an image. Maybe we want, a different color logo, but we're not gonna do that. If we go to footer content, we can put our logo that we have right there up in here. And that's pretty cool. And later we're going to be adding social icons, but that's a little bit later. And that is pretty much all we have for our footer. And I'm not going to put the logo in right now because we're going to be putting our social icons in later. So we can save and publish and exit out of there, and we are done with our footer. And that was pretty darn easy. We can complete this lesson, and we can watch it. Now we're 56% done. The next thing that we're going to do is change the background color. So we want the background color to be a different color. We want it to be pure white. And right now it's not pure white, so that's what we're going to do. All right, to do that, again, we go to customize, and we go to general and background color. And we select the color, and we can make it any kind of crazy color we want, but we don't want to make our users get nauseous. So we're just going to go with a pure white. And by making it pure white, it makes the menu that was light gray pop out a little bit more. All right, so we make that pure white and we press save and publish. And we exit out. And that is how you change the the background color. And that was super easy, complete lesson. And we are 59% done, which is pretty exciting. The next thing that we're going to do is understand plugins. So what is a plugin? A plugin basically adds functionality to your WordPress website. So for example, by default, WordPress doesn't have a contact form that you can fill out and just send, and a plugin will allow you to install something for free that allows you to put in a contact form. Or maybe a website doesn't have a really cool photo gallery. A plugin will allow you to put in a photo gallery. So let's go look at and explore some plugins, and let's go see what they do. So you go to the dashboard and you click on plugins and you press add new, because we're adding a new plugin. So here are some of the recommended plugins that WordPress has, and we can go to popular and we can see the most popular plugins. Okay, so we have Yoast SEO. So this is, how to get your website ranked higher in the search engines, and we can see the star rating, and we can go to more details, and we can say, okay, how do you install this? But really you just press install now, and you can see how it all works. And every plugin will work differently. So it's a good idea to look over these details and see how it works. What else is there? There's Contact Form 7. We're going to be installing this plugin later, and we could go to more details, and we can go to, okay, how do you use this? How do you install this? And you'll find that a contact, menu item over here, and you click on it and you integrate it. So, and you can see all the star ratings, and we have other ones, WooCommerce, which is compatible with our theme, so it allows you to add a shopping cart. And just, the next gen gallery, which is a really cool photo gallery. And we have WP Supercache, which makes your website faster. And we have all of this really cool and fun stuff. So we have WordFence Security, which makes your website more secure. And so we have all of this, all of these plugins. So plugins just add functionality to your website, and that's pretty much all I wanted to say about this. So we'll go back into our dashboard and we will say, okay, we understand plugins. So we're going to complete this. The next thing that we're going to do is install Beaver Builder. So Beaver Builder is a plugin, and it allows you to make your websites a lot more visually. So it allows you to drag and drop images and really just edit the website a lot more intuitively than how we added pages before. So how we added pages before, we clicked on pages and we edited pages with this editor, but it's not very good. It's not very, interactive. It doesn't allow you to put like images in the background and text on the left side or text on the right side, but Beaver Builder does. So you can install Beaver Builder from right here, or again, we can go to plugins and add new, and we can search for Beaver Builder. So Beaver Builder, that's Beaver Builder, and press enter, and we see this Beaver Builder plugins. It has 5 stars, 63 ratings, 40,000 plus active installs. It's probably more now that when you're watching this video. Then click install now, or you can look at more details and then press install now. And we activate plugin. Once you have activated plugin, it's a good idea now, maybe we have updates, which we do, to update everything else. So we're just going to go to updates, and we're going to update our WordPress now, and it's going to update. And so all of the plugins and everything else is updated. And maybe there's under updates, there's also theme updates. So anyways, we have installed our Beaver Builder plugin, and let me just show you what that looks like. So if we go to visit our site and we go to about, and we click on Page Builder, this is the Beaver Builder plugins, and we can drop in images and remove this and do all these things. So this is what the Beaver Builder has added onto it. So this plugin extended the functionality of WordPress. All right, but we're not going to do any of that right now. We're just going to go back to our dashboard and continue. So we have installed Beaver Builder, done. The next thing that we're going to do is create our home page, and this is where the magic starts to happen, as they say. So what we're going to do here first is we are going to set the page that we made called home to our home page. I know that sounds super funky, but we made a page right here and it's called home. And this is just like the about page or any page, but we need to set our home page to the actual home page, if that makes sense. And it will as soon as we do it. So just click on customize at the top left, and click on general, and click on static front page at the bottom of all that on the left, and then click a static page. So instead of displaying your latest blog post like we are right now, it's going to display a static page. So a static page, and the front page is going to be, you guessed it, the home page. All right, so now it's a page, your home page is a page that we made called home. We can just as easily set the home page to the services page or the contact page or even the terms of use page, but obviously we're going to set it to the page that we named home just because that makes it easy. All right, once we do that, we can save and publish, and we can exit out of here. Now I know what you're thinking. You're saying, Tyler, look at this ugly sidebar that we have on the side right here. If you go to Skype or Airbnb, we don't see this ugly sidebar on the side. How do I get rid of that? And that is super easy, and you're totally right. Good websites don't have that. So all we have to do is click on Edit Page, and we scroll down right here under Template on the right, and we make it to Full Width Page, and we click on Update. All right, now that will automatically disappear. Now you're still thinking, Tyler, but these really cool websites like Airbnb and Skype, they don't have home at the top of their well, this does say welcome home, but you know what I mean. It doesn't have home at the top of the websites like this one does. How do we make it look cool like theirs? Well, that's pretty easy too. Remember the page, the Beaver Builder that we just installed like 5 minutes ago? You just click on Page Builder, and that is, the plugin. That is the added functionality of it, and it automatically disappears like magic. All right, so we have here, and before we get into it, I want to explain to you like what all of this means. It looks, like there's a lot of stuff here, but it's super duper easy. So we have row layouts, and we have different columns, and when we add this, it adds rows. So how do you think about columns and rows? Let's look at how to think about that, because it's going to make your website experience so much easier once you have a conceptual understanding of all of this. So we can think of this as one row, and remember, rows go left to right and columns go up and down, like these columns. And you're like, Tyler, I know this. Obviously, we learned this in the 2nd grade. All right, just a refresher, just in case there's anyone out there. So we have rows, and you can think about, like someone rowing. It goes left to right, and columns. So this is one row right here, this white box, with 2 columns. So there's an image on the left and text on the right. This is one row. This whole blue thing goes from left to right, and 2 columns. So one on the left, one on the right. Same thing with Airbnb. We have one row right here and two different columns, one on the left, one on the right. For this one, we have one row and one column because there's just centered text in the middle. Two columns, and this is one row, three columns, 1, 2, 3. This is one row, two columns. All right, you get the point, I think. So this is one row with one column because it's just an image that goes all the way across and text that is in the middle. This text can go to the left or it could go to the right, but it would still be one row in one column. All right, so that is that. Now, if you want all of these, this is the homepage that we're gonna make. But obviously, you can make any website you want by just looking up and dividing. Go to a website that you like and say, okay, this is how many rows and this is how many columns, and you make it. It's super easy. So we're gonna look at this one. This one's kind of a trick. Is it one column or is it two columns? Can you guess? I'll give you a second or two. This is actually one row, one column, because this image is this image goes all the way across, and this is text just on the left side. And if that doesn't make sense, then that's okay. I'm going to explain it in just a second. What is this one? This one is actually two columns because there is an image in the background and then an invisible column right here and text right here. We have an invisible column here so that it gives space to the text over here, and so on. All right, so we're going to be creating this, and to get all of the pictures, you can go to, just click on the lesson, and you can download all of the pictures where it says download image files right here. You click on it, it'll make a zip, unzip it, save it to your desktop so you know where it is. And then you'll have all of these images. Some people are like, well, I don't want those images. I want other images. So you can obviously take your own images, or you can go to a website called pixabay.com, Pixabay.com, and this is a free image website. So there are some really good images here. And if you want like a full width image, an image that goes all the way across your website, and you want text over it, you have to think about, okay, there's a subject on the left side and there would be text on the right. So this one maybe not be good if you want text over it because you won't be able to see it. But this one would be good because you can have a bird on the right side and text on the right, or a bug below and text up top. So just think about where you would place the text. All right, so that is everything. With that, let's begin creating our website. So once you have all of your images ready, we can go ahead and drag in some rows and columns. So no matter what, we're dragging in rows, but this is so how many columns there are. If we drag in one column, we'll see it goes all the way across. If we drag in two columns, click, hold, and drag, we'll see that it's split up into two different columns. All right, have I beat that point into you enough? I hope I have. I just want you to learn. Okay, so we can go ahead and go up to this wrench right here. Let me do that again. So we'll drag in this one column, and we go up here to the wrench. And now this is what we're going to do first, is we are going to put in this image right here in the background. So this is an image that goes all the way across. All right, so we're going to make it full width, because if we don't do full width, then there's going to be spacing on the side, white spacing that we don't want. All right, and let's add in the image. So under background, let's select photo, and let's select our photo and click on upload files right here, not media library, upload files, and select files. And we're going to want to upload one called Hero Home. Maybe yours is different, but mine is Hero Home. Select it and select the photo. All right, and we're gonna see that it adds really small, so we can't see it that much. But if we scroll up and we go under height and we make it full height, it will be the size of our browser window, which is really cool. So there's one more thing, the position of the photo. So do we want it to be centered, or do we want it to be left, or do we want it to be top left? This is where the focus of the picture is. We are just gonna go to right bottom since she lives in the right bottom area of the picture. And just because the picture is white doesn't mean it's not way over here also. All right, so once we do that, we can press save. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add in this Google Cardboard headline right here. So we can just go ahead and add content, and we're going to be under basic modules right here. We're going to be adding in a heading. So click, hold, and drag. Don't drag it up here or down here. Drag it into the row. All right, now we're going to be just putting in the text. So you can just type whatever you want. And you can move this over if you want to. And we can put in the size. I'm going to say this is 42 pixels big. And it makes it bigger. And I'm going to say that it's light. So it makes it less bold. And we can change the color. I'm going to change it to 0A, 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 0A. All right, once we do that, we can press save, but right now you can think about there is padding around this. And by padding, I mean this doesn't go all the way to the left side. There's some space, there's some invisible space up here, to the right, to the bottom, and on the left. If we click on advanced, we can modify this space. And because we're going to be putting text underneath right here with just a little bit of space, we want no space at the bottom right here. Because if we had a lot of space, this text would go all the way down, and we don't want that. So for this, if you click on advanced, we can, on the bottom, we can make this 0. So there's 0 space at the bottom. And then we can press save. All right, next we're going to add more content. And again, what we're going to do is we're going to add this text right here. So we can just copy it if we want. And this is just going to be, if we click on add content, and on the right, we can drag in text editor. And we're going to drag it in this box. Don't go down here or up here, in the box. And we're going to paste in our text, and make sure to paste it as plain text so it doesn't have any weird formatting. So we're going to click on that, and we're just going to paste it. That is Control V on a PC or Command V on a Mac. All right, once we do that, we're going to change the font size. So I'm going to change this font size to, let's say, 18. And I'm going to change this one to 18 also. All right, so it looks a little bit bigger. And then I'm going to click on advanced, because remember there's padding up here, 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 and to the right. Padding is also called margin. So a margin and padding is a little different, but for our purposes, we can just think of it as the same. I'll explain the difference in a little while. All right, so I'm going to put 0 at the top, and it's going to get closer. Then we're going to click on save. And there we are. We are done with this. So that was pretty easy. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to add in this cool orange bar right here. So what we do, how many rows and columns is it? So it's obviously one row. How many columns? It is just one column with text aligning on the left. So I'm going to go ahead and just copy this. And you can go to getacardboard.com to copy any of this text if you want. And we are going to add content, and we're going to click on row layouts and drag it in one column. And don't drag it here. You got to wiggle it a little bit. I know, very like scientific, huh? Wiggle it a little bit and put it below. All right, once we do that, we can then edit the row settings. And we're gonna make it full width. Let me just show you what happens if I don't make it full width. So we're gonna change it and make it a color background. And we already have our color, so it's an orange. So we can, make it any color we want, but ours is orange, and the color code for it is FF6E40. All right, so that makes that nice little orange. And we're gonna go to advanced, and we're gonna change the padding on the top and the bottom to 10. 10 and 10, and that's gonna make it not as tall. All right, once we do that, we can also go to save. And we have saved it, but we need that headline in there. So we're going to add content and drag in a headline. Once we drag in a headline, and again, I didn't add any of, I didn't make it this full width. So let's actually cancel out of this headline and let's make it full width. I was trying to do a demonstration, but I forgot it. So let's go back to row settings and let's make it full width so it goes all the way across. And now you understand what it is to be fixed and what it is to be full. Full goes all the way across. All right, now what we can do is add content and go to heading and drag in a heading right in there. And we can just paste in our text. Immersive experiences for everyone, and we can change, how big it is. We'll make that 30. We can make it a light font, and we can make it the color white so it just, so it just pops out a little bit. All right, and we can press done and save. So we're done with that, and our website is really looking color coordinated, and it's looking very good. So let's continue. Next, we have to add in this, and remember, this is one row with two different columns. Even though this goes all the way across this image, it's two columns because we need some sort of spacer. All right, so let's add in that. So we add in content, add content, and go to row layouts and click on two columns, click, hold, and drag, and kind of jiggle it down and make sure it doesn't go here, it goes all the way down. And now we want to edit the row settings, and we want it to be full width. All right, and after we've done that, we also want to add in an image. So under background, click photo and select photo and upload files and select files. Then we're gonna upload the one that says get viewer. Open that up and select photo. All right, once we do that, we can see that it's not very big, so we need to add in more space, more padding. And this is the difference between, I'm gonna show you the difference between padding and margin. So if we add in more padding, let's add maybe 100 to the top and 100 to the bottom. We can see that we have added more padding. Padding you can think of like if you have fat on your body, that's like a lot of your padding, or maybe a lot of muscles, then you have a lot of padding. Where margin is the distance away from you. So even though you have muscles around your body with the margin that's like people getting away from you. So we can press 50 and we can see that it added all this space. So that's like, adding distance between things. And this is adding distance internally. So that's the difference between padding and margin, but just do 100, 100 and press save. All right, now that we're done with that, let's add in a text editor on the right. So add content, text editor, and just drag it into this column. Now we need all of that text, so I'm just gonna cheat a little bit and copy it here. And I'm gonna paste it as plain text. All right, there we go. And once I do that, I'm gonna highlight this, get a viewer, and I'm gonna make it into a heading 3. So it's a little bolder. And I'm going to add in a space because we don't see a space right here. So I'm gonna add in a space. And there we have it. And then we have get a viewer, and I'm gonna make this into a link. So I'm just gonna click on link, and I'm gonna link it to a page that already exists. So we can link it to existing content, and we can link it to our services page. All right, then press save. And we are all done with that one. So that was pretty easy. So now let's add in more. So what are we gonna build next? We are gonna build this one right here. All right, so I'm just gonna copy this for now. We'll use that later. And let's add in content. And let's drag in a row with 2 columns. All right, and now let's go to click on the wrench and let's make it full width. And let's add in a photo. All right, let's select the photo. And this photo is called Get Cardboard. Get Cardboard. There it is. And we will select our photo. All right, so we're going to go to advanced and we're going to add in more padding. So we're going to add in 110 and 110. Gives a little more padding to the top and bottom. And we are going to save that. All right, now we're going to add in a text editor. And make sure to drag it right into the left column. And we're going to paste in all of that, but make sure you paste it as plain text. All right, now we can add in a space to it and make this an H3. And for learn more, we can just link it and link it to the about. Add link and press save. But now we can see that this doesn't go on 2 lines when this does go on 2 lines. And I think it looks a little better on 2 lines. We could even add maybe more words on the 2 different lines. So how do we do that? And that's why we added another row, because you can actually click, hold, and drag the rows. And it will make it so it goes on 2 different lines. So that's pretty cool. All right, let's press not done yet. Let's add more content. And the next thing that we're going to do is we are going to build this really cool looking call to action right here. So the way we do that is we can add content, and we're going to add a row, and it's going to be 1 column. So we click, hold, and drag and kind of jiggle it. And we are going to edit this by clicking on the wrench and make it full width and make the background type a color. And we are going to make this color orange. So it's going to be the same orange, and it's going to be FF6E 40, and that's going to give us that exact orange color. All right, so we're not done with this yet. What we want to have happen inside here is we want all of that text to be white. So how do we make it all white? So what we do for under colors here, we can make it white. And for link color, we can make it white. So that's going to be the color of the links, and that's going to be the color of the text. All right, so we are done with that. Let's press save. And let's add in more content. So this is going to be a heading. So we're just going to click, hold, and drag it right in the center there. And we're going to actually copy that text. So what are you waiting for? And we're going to paste it right in there. And this is going to be 40 pixels tall. And the font weight is actually going to be bold, and the font color is going to be white. And for alignment, it's going to be, you guessed it, center. All right, we also are going to have a subheadline. And so we're going to put yes on this option. And we're going to copy that subheadline. All right. We're going to paste that in there. We're going to make it 18 pixels, and we're going to make it white. And it should show up. There it goes. All right, so we are done with that, and now we need to save it. And now we need our actual call to action. So we need this learn about us and these arrows. How do we get those cool arrows in there? All right, so to do that, we just simply drag in a text editor. So we add content and click on text editor and kind of drag it in there. And once we do that, we can say whatever it was here, learn about us. So just type in learn about us. And again, that text down here is white because that's the color that we made it for the settings, for the row settings. All right, and once we do that, we can actually, if we click on this toolbar, we can actually put in a special character, and we can put the right pointing. All right, and we can make this 20 pixels, and we can center it, and we can add a link. And this is going to go to the About Us, add link, save. And look at that. That is beautiful. To save your page, press done and publish changes. And now we are done with creating the desktop version of our homepage. That was really awesome, and you learned a lot. Good job. Let's mark that progress off. So we can complete it right here. And we can watch the progress. All right, now let's go back and see what else we have to do. The next thing that we have to do is create our About page. And to do that, it's pretty easy. But first, let's go and check out the completed page. So this is what your About page is going to look like when it's completed. So we're going to have this big picture up here and this About Our Team with the transparent box behind it. So it's very modern, a very cool look. And then we're going to have these all of our employees or whatever that work at the company. Maybe this will just be you, I don't know, with a bunch of white space, so it looks very open and free. Then we're going to have a little quote here, and this could be maybe you talking about your employees or whatever, someone talking about how good you are. And we're going to make that background a little different so it separates it. And then we're going to have this cool call to action to see our services. All right, so if you're ready, then I'm ready, and let's begin. So right now we're on our home page, and we need to go to the About page. So just click on About. Pretty simple. And then we need to make this full width. So we click on Edit Page. Excuse me. And then under Template, we make it full width page and we press Update. Once we do that, we can go back to our page and view it, and we see that it is full width, but this title is still here, but we know how to fix that. Just click on Page Builder. Done data, it disappears automatically. All right, so now we need to get that lady in there. Let's see, we need to get her in here. It needs to be full width, so it goes all the way across. So how do we do that? You know how to do it. We drag in one column, and we click on the wrench. And we make this full width, and we make the content width full width. That means that the text will go all the way to the edge too. So right now, if it's like this, then the image just goes all the way across. But if it is full width for the content, then the text will go all the way, you know, there won't be any padding right here. And we need that because we're going to put this box inside of this overall box. And if we didn't make our content full width, then this would have a little line here, and everyone would call us amateurs, and we would cry. No, not really. Okay, so, but we need to make it full width. So once we do that, we can also go to advanced here and make it have 0 padding, because again, if we don't do that, then the box is going to be, there's going to be edges on the box. So we need to make this 0, 0, 0, 0, and I'm going to the next field just by pressing tab. All right, then we're done with that, and now we can put in our image. So let's find our image under background, photo, and we'll select the photo. Upload files, select files, and then we find a photo called Google About and press open. And then it uploads and it does all its fancy stuff, and we press select a photo. All right, now we have selected the photo and we press save because we're done with that. But you're saying, Tyler, we can only see her smile. We're gonna fix that. Don't worry about that. All right, so the next thing that we have to do is put in a headline. And I know that seems a little weird, but this is a headline right here. And this is just the subheadline. So that's what we're gonna do. So we're going to add content and put in heading, headline, same thing, right? And drag it inside here, right there. All right, and now it's asking for our text, and since we're lazy, we are going to just copy and paste it. That's not lazy, that's being efficient. All right, and then we're gonna make it 40, so we're gonna make it bigger, and you can always move around this box so you can see what the heck we're doing here. And we're going to make it 3333, which it already is, and we're going to center it. And then we're gonna add a subheadline because we want text under it, like this. And I'm gonna copy it again. And then we are going to add in subheadline. All right. And we are going to make this maybe 16. 16, sure. 16, and we'll keep it 333333. But you're saying, but Tyler, that does not look anything like that, and you're right, it doesn't. You see how this all has space right here? Space, lots of space, and space up here. How do we do that? You know how to do this. You go to advanced. So once we go to advanced, then we can just say 300. 300, that gives on the left 300 pixels of space, and on the right 300 pixels of space. Looking pretty good. Okay, we'll save that. Now we need to do something that's like a little trick. There's also a column settings here. So if we click edit column and go to column settings, then we could do some pretty cool stuff here. We're gonna keep the text the same, and for the background color, we're gonna make it white. And now we can't see anything. But we're going to make the opacity. The opacity is how clear it is. So 100%, it's not clear at all, as it's 100% there, and 70, it is, only 70% there. So that's pretty cool. And once we do that, we can go to advanced and add in our space. All right, so for margin, we're gonna say 300 at the top. And remember, margin says, get away from me, get away from me. And padding is like, your muscles, or if you don't exercise, you're fat. So padding, we're going to add 50 on top, 50 on top, and 50 on bottom. And look at the bottom right here and watch it. See? So that's padding. Padding's inside, margin's outside. All right, so once we do that, I think we are done with that. Look at that. That was awesome. And does it look exactly like this? Of course it does. Good job. All right. So the next thing that we're going to do is we're going to add in these fools. I don't think they're fools, they're probably geniuses. So let's go ahead and do that. How do we do that? How many rows and columns is all of this stuff? So this is actually 4. Sorry, I didn't mean to do that. 1, 2, 3, 4. But the spacing is, you see how like open it is? So much spacing, it gives it a really open feel. I really like that look. So we're gonna figure out how to do that. All right, so we need to add content, and we need to go to row layouts and go 2 columns and just jiggle it a little bit. And there we have it. 2 columns, what am I saying? 4 columns, I'm sorry. I'm getting too excited about this stuff. So 4 columns, jiggle it a little bit. All right, now we have 1, 2, 3, 4, like we're supposed to. All right, and once we do that, we are going to add in a photo right here. So let's just add in a photo to the first column. All right, and once we do that, we can select our photo, and we are going to select Eric from Google. Where are you, Eric? There you are. All right, and once we select Eric, we're gonna select him. And we're going to crop it a certain way because we don't want a square. It looks so much cooler if it was a circle. All right, so let's make it a circle. And we'll align him center, and all that is good. Okay, so that's Eric. There we go. Let's save that. And the next thing that we're going to do is add content. And we are going to add in a text editor because we need Eric's name here. But I'm going to add in 1 space, or just press enter. And let's copy his name because we can. And we will paste it, but paste it as plain text. You don't want to paste any weird formatting. All right, so there he is, Eric. And we will make this an H3. Oh, it made both of them H3 though. Okay, so we'll press enter here. We'll make this an H3. Oh my God. Okay. This is not working. Okay, so let's just do it one at a time like they want us to. All right, so we'll just copy his name. Sometimes computers, man, they can be frustrating. And paste it as plain text. Okay, and then we will press enter and we will copy his title. I could probably type this stuff in. I'm just being stubborn. And paste it as plain text. And then we will make this into an H3. Okay, so heading 3. All right, so there we go with that. That looks cool. Not really. That looks pretty bad. But we are going to make it really good. So we're going to save that. And then we need to give padding to all of this. You see how there's a bunch of space up here? We need to add space here and add space there. So how do we do that? We go to the row settings, the main row settings, not these row settings or photo settings, the main row settings. And let's add 100 to the top margin. 100. See, it gives space. And then what about on the left or right side? So we can also add 150 to the left side and 150 to the right side. And now it's looking a lot closer than it was. Okay, and then we can make this a little bigger like that. And we can size this guy down to maybe 18. And that looks pretty good. And we can make this one 18 also. There we are. All right, and now it's just time to duplicate things. So just duplicate it. And let me show you that again because I did that really fast. It's not considerate. All right, you go over here, you hover over it, and you press duplicate. Duplicate. Duplicate? That's a weird word. All right, and now we have done that. So we can, again, if there's not enough space, we can go like this, make it bigger, smaller, whatever we want, but just know that these pictures have to be 18 about. All right, so that's done. Now let's duplicate. It sounds so weird. Let's copy the whole thing. Okay, so now that we copied it, we don't need all this space up here. So let's go ahead and edit the row settings. And let's remove that space from the top. So let's just go 0, but let's add the space to the bottom. 100, there we go. And now we are seeing that we just need to change this guy's name and we'll be all done. It will look like this, pretty much. All right, so let's just copy Larry Page. That's a weird name. Sergey Brin, I guess it's not that weird. So CEO. So we'll do CEO. Nope, we'll do Larry Page as the CEO. We'll save it. We'll do Ruth as CFO. Ruth, CFO. Is that 2 P's or 1? 1 P. Okay, and Sergey as president. So, CFO, Chief Financial Officer, and we'll do this guy as president. And I think I need to capitalize that. President. Okay, good. And now all we need to do is change the images. So we need to find Larry Page by editing the photo and editing it and uploading files, selecting files, and find the image called Larry and open it. Thank you, Larry, for letting me use your image. All right, and then we need to find Ruth. That should be pretty easy. We edit, we upload files, we select files when we find Ruth. Open it. And there's Ruth. And now, there she is. And now we need to find Sergey. And select files, S. Okay, so there we are. All of the Google people are on it. Now we are done with that. That's awesome. And now we need to make this little quote right here. So let me copy that. And this has a light gray background, so it kind of, it sections off things. This is one section. This is another section. This is another section, and this is another section. Colors help, the eyes focus on different, sections. Okay, so whoopsie daisy. So we can just add content, and we are going to add a row with one column, kind of jiggle it. And after we do that, we can go ahead and edit these row settings. And we are going to make the background full width, obviously. And the content is fine. And we're going to make the color a different color. So the background is going to be a different color. And it's going to be F9, F9, F9. And we're going to save that. Right now, I don't know why, but the background is not showing up as white. I'm going to press done real quick and publish, and I'm going to see, okay, it is showing white when we publish it. Sometimes it gets a little wonky. Okay, so now it's looking good. All right, now we can go ahead and put in our text editor. So let's go ahead and put in under basic modules our text editor, and we're going to paste all of that stuff. Make sure you paste it as plain text and paste it. All right, and then we're going to highlight it all, and we are going to make it bigger, font size 22. We're going to center it, and we are going to advanced, and we're going to add left and right 190 and 190, 190, 190. All right, so that's pretty cool. And I think we can just save that. Boom. Next, what we want to do is we want to add in this picture, but it's kind of tricky actually, because if you add in just one column like you would think you would need to, then the picture is going to be really big. So how do you make it like really small? I guess we could like put in a smaller image. That's one option. Another option is to do 3 different rows and kind of sandwich them in between. I mean 3 different columns and kind of sandwich it in between. So that's what we're going to do. 3 different columns. And we want to do that also because on mobile, when you resize this to really small, we want his picture to be bigger and not like tiny because it'll be hard to see on mobile. All right, so let's add content, and we're going to add rows, and we're going to add 3 columns, and we're just going to put it right under here. So within this box, but right under there. And then we're going to add a photo. We're just going to drag it to the middle one. And then we're going to select a photo and get select files and get an image of Sundar. Open that up. Select photo, and we're going to crop it circle. You could crop it different ways too. It could be fun. Then we're going to save that, and we're going to squish him. We're going to go, what? But we can also type in here. Or at least I thought you could. Oh yeah, there we go. We can type in here 45, and we can type here if we click on it, or we can just drag it to 45. 45. All right, so he's 10 right there. He's not 10, but he's the column is 10% wide. He's not 10. He's older than that. And after we do that, we can go to the photo settings, and we can go to advanced, and we can say, okay, we want 10 margin up top and 10 on bottom, just so it brings it a little bit closer here. All right, and once we do that, we can, for the column settings, we can make this 0000, which it is already. So that's fine. And what else do we need to do? Now we need to just drag in another column right under this, because his text is going to be right under that. So let's drag in a text editor, and let's just copy his name. Let's get this, copy it, Control or Command C if you're on a PC or a Mac, and then paste it. And we're going to paste it as plain text, Control or Command V. All right, but let's remember what happened last time we tried to do this. So I'm just going to cut it by pressing Control or Command X if you're on a PC or Mac. And we are going to make this H3. And we are going to center it, and we are going to change the font size to 14. Then we're going to press Enter, and we are going to paste that, and we're going to center it, and we're also going to make this 14. So there is that. That was looking pretty good, and we are going to press save. All right, and now we can see that maybe we need to mess with the how much there is padding up here. So we can edit this right here by going to text editor settings and going to advanced and changing this top and to 0 and pressing save. All right, and now we can press done, and we can see that it will look pretty darn good. There we have it. So that is looking awesome. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to go to Page Builder again, because we're not done yet. We need to have that call to action at the bottom right here, just like this. So that's pretty easy. Let's get to it. So we want to drag in one column. And what we're going to do here is we are going to change the color. So just click on that wrench, make it full width, and make the color the same color that we use throughout the website. And that's FF6E40, I believe. Yes. All right. And once we do that, we want our text color, so anything within this box, to be white. And our link color also to be white. All right, and we want to save it. Now we can just add content, and we are adding the text editor. Oh, actually, before we do that, I think we have to add some spacing up here and down here. So let's go ahead and go to row settings again and go to advanced, and for the top padding, we want to, top margin, we can go 60 and 60. So 60 top, 60 bottom. Oh, sorry, that's not what I wanted to do. I wanted to do reverse. I wanted to do that on the text editor. So I was right to begin with. So we add content and we go to text editor and we drag that in here. And then we go to advanced and we say 60 top, 60 bottom to give the text editor more space. All right, and then we go to general and we will copy and paste that text again. And paste it as plain text, obviously. And once we do that, we can center the text. We can also make the text bigger, so let's make it 28 pixels. And I think that is about it. So once we're done with that, we can now go to a new line or two, and let's type in see all our services. And then we'll add in that special character to the right, and we'll link this to our services page. Add link, save, and look at that. It is looking gorgeous. All right, so this is about our team page, or your about page, and it's looking really good. So we can mark this off. Whoa. And we can go to our website and we can press complete the about page, and we are 74% done, so we're almost there. Keep on going. And the next thing that we're going to be doing is our services page. So that looks like this. We're going to be putting in this headline, these 3 boxes, and a description under them, a call to action to contact us today, and this little divider that says discover whole new worlds, why we love Google Cardboard, a video, and finally call to action at the bottom. All right, so to do that, it's pretty easy. We just have to go to our services page and click on edit page to make it full width. And under templates, go to full width page and press update. Once we do that, we can view our page, and we see that it is full width. And now we can go to Page Builder, and that will automatically disappear. All right, once we do that, we then need to create our headline. So a trick is if you put in a headline, and if we go to Basic Modules, also called heading, if we put it in, it will automatically create a new row for us. And that's just a single row with one column. All right, and now we can go ahead and just copy this. And again, you can copy all the paste from getacardboard.com. All right, and we'll put it 24, and we'll make it centered and normal and centered. All right, then we're going to add some padding to it. So we're going to save this. We're going to add some padding so it's a bigger space right here. So just go ahead and click on Row Settings and go to Advanced. And for the top, not margin, but padding, we're just going to put 50 so it scoots down a little bit. It's scooted down a little bit. All right, then press Save. And now we are going to make these boxes. So how many different columns are these? You got it right, 3, obviously. Okay, if that wasn't obvious, then that's okay. So you add content, row layouts, and let's go with 3. And let's just drag it, not up here, but just down below. All right, so now what do we need? Now that we have 3 boxes, we need images on those boxes. So 1, 2, 3 images. And to download these images, I went to iconfinder.com, and you can find any images that you want. So maybe I'll type in YouTube, and we can see, make sure you only click on free right here, and we can see this YouTube. Now we don't want to download it as SVG, because not all browsers can understand SVG. We want to download it as a PNG because all browsers understand the file format PNG. If we want to change the color, then we download it to SVG, and then we open up Logo Maker, logomaker.com, and we drag it in there to change the color. We can also look for icons here. So it has, if we could search YouTube, we can also put in things here and change the color or do whatever we want, and saves it, and it automatically saves as a PNG. So, but I already have all of the images already downloaded for you if you downloaded the project file. If you're doing your own website, then you put in your own images, obviously. All right, so let's do that. So let's add in photos. So 1 photo in this column. And we're going to select the file and upload files and select files. So this one is YouTube, I believe. And we're going to select the file, and it's going to be full size and center, and we're not going to crop it at all. So that's all fine. And we're going to press Save. All right, so now that looks just like this. And next we're going to put in some text. So that's pretty easy. You just add content and you put in text editor and just drag it in the same box but underneath. All right, and let's go ahead and copy some of that text. And let's paste it in here. So we'll paste as plain text again, and we'll just go ahead and paste it. All right, once we paste it, we're gonna make this bold right here, and we're gonna center it by highlighting it all and just clicking on center. And we're gonna save that. Now that we've done that, we can go ahead and duplicate all of them. So we'll just duplicate that and duplicate it again. And we'll do the same thing with this right here. And we'll just drag it into the appropriate box. And once we do that, then we can go ahead and just change this. and click on replace. So we're going to replace it, and we're going to replace it with this Google Wallet image. And we're going to replace that also. Okay, so we upload files, select files, and we go to wallet PNG, open, and select and save. And then we edit this right here, and again we paste it as plain text and paste it. And sometimes I paste it in the middle of, you saw me, paste it in the middle, and that's because if I paste it, if I select all of it, sometimes it gets rid of the formatting. So I'll show you again on the next one. All right, once we do that, we can now use, change the analytics. Upload files, select files, and go to analytics and open. All right, once we do that, select the photo and save, and then I'm gonna show you. I'm gonna copy this, and then I'm going to edit right here, and I'm not gonna choose the first or last one, because if I do, sometimes all of that formatting will go away. The bold will go away. So if I just do it right here, and of course paste it as plain text, and paste it, then it'll keep the same formatting. And I just have to delete the first and last letter. All right, and then press save. And now that is looking pretty good. So what are we gonna do next? We are going to say, contact us today. All right, so to do that, we just go ahead and add content and just drag in a text editor. And drag it all the way at the bottom. Well, we could drag it in up here. Okay. And contact us today. And then we're going to do the little special character. Again, if it's not showing, toggle the toolbar. Special character, right? We're going to center it, make it 20 pixels large, and make it link, of course, to our contact page. Add link and press save. All right, so that's looking pretty good. Now to save your work, let's just press done and publish changes. And it's looking exactly the same as this. All right, so next we're gonna add in this yellow bar right here that says discover whole new worlds. Okay. So let's go ahead and click on Page Builder again if we saved it. And we're just gonna go ahead and drag in a heading. And it'll automatically make a row for you if you just drag in a heading underneath everything. All right, and again, we are going to just paste discover whole new worlds. We're gonna make that 28 pixels. And we are going to make it white. And that's all we're gonna do for that. And we're gonna save. All right, but now you can't see anything because we didn't change the color of the row yet. So we're gonna go to row settings, and we're gonna make it full width, and we are going to make the background color and change that to that orange. Remember the color code for the orange? It is, do I remember it? That's the question. FF6E40. All right, but now it's a little too big. So we're gonna go to advanced, and we are going to, for the padding, for the top, we're going to make it 10. And for the bottom, we're gonna make it 10. And we forgot to do one thing. This is looking a little too bold. So we're gonna edit it, and we're gonna make this light. All right, so that is looking pretty good. The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to put in this why we love Google Cardboard, and we're going to put in this video right here. All right, so to do that, you already know how to put in a heading, but let's do it anyways together. So just drag in a heading and drag it underneath everything, and type in why we love Google Cardboard. And we're going to make that 24 pixels. That is fine. And we're going to go to advanced because we're going to, actually, before we do that, we're going to make it centered. And we're going to go to advanced. And for the margin, we're going to add in a little more space. So we're going to make it 35 pixels. So it just gives a little more space, a little more white space. All right, once we do that, we now have to put in a video. So let's go ahead and add content. And let's drag in a video. We could drag it in right here. All right, and instead of uploading the video ourselves, we're just gonna get it through YouTube. So we're gonna press embed. Now with YouTube, it's really easy to embed a video. You just go to YouTube, and you could just look for any video, hands-on with Google Cardboard. Maybe we're looking for, and we see this video and we click on it. And all we have to do is copy this URL up here, this link up here, and press copy, exit out of here. Of course, you could do this on any video you want. And go ahead and paste it and press save. Now we notice that the video is really big. It's almost overwhelming. It's too big, in my opinion. So how do we make it a little smaller? And I'll give you a second to think about it. How would you make it smaller? Well, you probably got it right, but if not, that's okay. We can actually go to video settings and add in on advanced margin on the left and right. So maybe we want to add, I don't know, 30 pixels to the top, 50 pixels of margin to the bottom. That adds space at the bottom. And on the left, let's do 200. And on the right, let's do 200. So now that looks like a lot less overwhelming. And that's looking pretty good. All right, so we're done with that. The next thing that we're going to do after we've done that is we are going to put in this call to action under here. I'm going to show you how to underline things and make it orange, which you know how to do. I'm positive of that. All right, so let's go to add content, and we're just going to add in one column, one row with one column. All right, and we're going to go to row settings, the little wrench, and we're going to go to full width, and for our background color, we're going to make it a color, and we're going to make it FF6E40. And it automatically adds a little pound sign or hashtag, maybe you know it as, for you. But you definitely need that just for in the future. All right, so that is the color. Then we are going to make the color of the text that's inside this box. We're going to make it white. And we're going to make the links inside the box white. Okay, and then we're going to go to advanced, and we are going to add in some padding. So we're going to add in 60 padding to the top and 60 padding to the bottom, just so it looks a little bigger and a little more balanced. Then we're going to press save, and now we're going to add our content. And we're going to add a text editor. So we're just going to click, hold, and drag, jiggle it down. And we're going to paste in this text right here. Copy. And I'm going to paste it as plain text. Of course, you can type whatever you want out. Paste as plain text and paste. There we go. Then I'm going to make it, you see the text is white now. That's pretty cool also. I'm going to make it 24 pixels big, and I'm going to center it, but I'm going to also add in some spacing on the left and right side so it's a little more, it doesn't go so wide. You don't want your text to go all the way across really wide because it's harder for people to read. It's a lot easier for people to read when there's not so many words on a line. All right, so we're going to add just 150 to the left, 150 to the right. and it looks a lot better. Once we do that, we are going to underline some stuff. So we understand we're going to underline it. And Google contact us, we're going to underline. Just so people know that those are links, and we understand we're going to link to the About section. We're going to add link. And the contact us, we're going to link to, you guessed it, the contact section. And add the link. Then we're going to save it. And we're going to look at it, and we're going to say, wow, that is freaking excellent. Then press done and publish changes. And now we have a really cool services page. Of course, you could do any services you want on here, but it's looking really awesome. All right, so we are done with that. So let's go to the Tyler.com companion website and click on complete services page. And we are 78% done. Next, we're going to create a contact page, and that includes doing everything on this page, which includes putting this image in the background, putting these hello, talk to us, and our contact information, and also putting in this contact form and this cool orange bar right here. So let's get to it. It's pretty easy. To do that, we obviously have to go to our contact page. And we have to make it full width. A lot of web stuff is doing the same things over and over again. So just click on full width and make it full width page and press update. Then go to view page. And now it's full width without the sidebar, which is nice. And then click on page builder and it should disappear. Once we do that, we're now going to get a big image in here, just like this big image. So let's drag in one column and let's edit the row settings and make it full width, and let's put in an image there. So let's do a photo and let's select photo, and the photo that we're going to select after we click on upload files and select files is going to be the Google contact.jpg. All right, once that is uploaded, press select photo, and that should go in there. You see it, it's small, but it's in there. And what we're gonna do now is add in that orange bar at the bottom that will separate our page. If you don't remember what that looks like, here is the orange bar that we're gonna add in. All right, it's super easy. We just scroll down to the bottom, and we, under border, we make it solid, and we do that same color orange because we want it to be consistent with everything, or whatever your color scheme is. Maybe it's not orange. FF6E40. And we can see that added to the top and to the bottom. It's kind of cool to have a color at the top. So if you want to make that bigger, you just press 5. But we're only adding a color to the bottom. So we're going to make it 6. And you can make a whole box if you want. You can make this 2, and you can make this 6, and you can make a cool little box, which is a neat effect, but not what we're going for. So we're going to keep the top at 0, the left and right at 0. And we're just going to have this bottom 6 pixels wide border. All right, once we're done with that, we can press save. Then we're going to add in some more content, and we're going to add in a heading. So just click, hold, and drag. And this is going to say hello. Whoops. H-E-L-L. Whoops. Caps lock. In all caps, and it's going to have a comma. And this is going to be 60 pixels tall. And the color is going to, the font weight is going to be light, and the color is also going to be a little lighter. So maybe we'll go with 60, whoops, 60. There it is. All right, And so that is looking pretty good, but we need more space up here. And to do that, we can just go to advanced. And for the top, let's add 150 pixels of space. And for the bottom, since we're gonna put like a talk to us right here, we don't want it to have a whole bunch of space. We're gonna make that bottom 0. So bottom, we're gonna do 0. And left and right, we could keep at 20, that's fine, and press save. Now we're gonna add in another headline. So add content, another heading, and we're gonna click, hold, and drag right under the first one. Then we're gonna put talk to us, ... and we're gonna again make that 60, and we're gonna make it light, and we're gonna make the color 60, 60, 60 again. All right, and after we do that, we're going to make the top and bottom margin 0, so it gets closer to this. And we're going to make the bottom 0 because we want to put text underneath here also. And we're going to press save. So once we do that, we can add more content, and we're going to add a text editor. We're going to click, hold, and drag right underneath the talk to us. And I'm just going to say you, whoops, not in caps though. You can email us at tylermoore@gmail.com. I guess you're just emailing me. Or, and then I'm going to hold shift and press enter so it doesn't make a big paragraph. It just goes to a new line. So shift enter. Instead of going like this, it makes a big paragraph. You can hold shift enter and it just goes right under and it makes a new line. Call us at, and my phone number, 310, whoops, 743-3190. Okay, so once we do that, we want to again adjust all of the margin and padding. So we go to advanced, and the margin, we're gonna do 0 at top so it's closer to this right here. So 0, and then 20, and then left. You see how it's like kind of not aligned with this? We can make it like indent more if we just press left, 30, and so now it looks aligned. And 20. Okay, so that's fine. We press save, and that is looking pretty good. The next thing that we have to do is we have to get in a contact form here. All right, so people can fill it out and send it to you, and it'll go to your email. All right, so how do we do that? It's pretty easy. Let's press done, and let's press publish changes. All right, so by default, WordPress doesn't have a contact form, so we need to get a plugin in order to for WordPress to have the ability to have this contact form right here. All right, so to do that, we go to our dashboard, and we go to plugins on the left, and on the top we click add new. And we can search for plugins. So this one is called Contact Form 7. Contact Form 7. And just go ahead and search for it, and it's been installed over 1 million times, and it has 840, almost 5-star ratings. And so we can just, assume that it's a pretty good contact form. So let's press install now. And we can press activate plugin. Now our plugin is activated, and now we see this new area over here that says contact on the left. And if we click on it and click on this contact form, we can edit all the fields, but I'm not going to get into that now. But what we want to make sure is that under mail, it has our email address, so that it goes to us. Now sometimes when people send mail at first, it'll go into the spam, so we have to just go into the spam folder and mark it as not spam. All right, so we have it going to our email address. This is the code. If we click on contact, this is the code that will insert that form. So we just click on it and we copy it. All right, once that is copied, we can go ahead and visit our site and go back to our contact page. And now we can continue with it. So let's go to Page Builder. And let's drag in a new column. Click, hold, and drag, and wiggle it to the bottom. And for this, we are going to edit the row settings and make it full width. And we're going to change the color a little bit of the background, just so it gives a nice easy break from this white to a gray. So click on color and click on the eyedropper, and we're going to do FC, FC, FC. It's just a little off white. All right, once we do that, we're going to press save. And now we are going to add content and add a text editor right in that column. And instead of clicking visual, we're going to click text on the right here, because we don't want to paste in the code on visual. Code always goes into the text field. So click on text and just paste that in there. And now this is the code called a short code that will insert that contact form. All right, so just click on save and it inserts it right now. But right now, again, where we had the issue before with the text going all the way across, it goes all the way across too far. So we don't want to do that. We want it to have some space on the left and space on the right. So let's click on that wrench icon again, and let's go to advanced, and on the top margin and bottom margin is fine. It's just the left needs to be 200 and the right needs to be 200. And therefore it looks a lot better. It's a lot easier on the eyes. It's not so big. Then press done and publish changes, and we are done with making our pages and creating our contact form. That's freaking awesome. All right, so now that we're done with that, we can go ahead and mark off our progress and see that we are 81% done, so we're super close. The next thing that we're going to do is make our website mobile friendly, or maybe it should be called super mobile friendly, because right now it's already mobile friendly. It's already a responsive website, which means that it responds to your screen size. For an example, your cell phone screen size is very small, so it will reorganize the information on the website to fit that small screen. And that's really what responsive means. But if we look at the Google Cardboard website, the official Google Cardboard website, well, we can see that this lady is here and this text is on the left and everything looks good. But imagine this screen was a lot smaller. This text would have to go over this lady right here, and it wouldn't look good because you wouldn't be able to read it. So how do we actually show different information or different images on a small device versus, a big desktop? And we can pull that up and we can look at the actual Google Cardboard website, and we can see that this image doesn't exist anywhere on this desktop version. And so we want to be able to do that too. We want to be able to show different things based on if you're on a phone or on a computer, because the experience is different. We need maybe more crystal clear calls to action like buttons, and maybe we need different images altogether. So how do we do that? And maybe we want our font sizes to also be a little different. So we're going to learn how to do all of that, and it's going to be super easy and super fun. We're also going to learn how to change the menu. So let's go ahead and go to our website right now, and we can see that it's not, it's responsive. It changed the size of, it squished everything together basically. But, like this image on the left right here, you can't really see it. You can't really see the text, and you can't really see the image. And over here, you can barely see the image on the right side, and we see the text, and maybe this is just, too big of text. So how do we, show different information if we are on, a mobile device or even a tablet or whatever you want? The next thing that we're going to do is we are going to change this because the menu, because it's not color coordinated right now. It looks pretty, yeah, not color coordinated. Maybe we'll make these links orange and make the background a very light gray. So let's go ahead and get to it. We can exit out of this and we can pull up our website. So let's go ahead and do that. And let's begin working on it. So now what's our plan of attack? First, we need to open up Page Builder. And the general plan is we're gonna duplicate these big rows right here, and we're gonna change them, and we're gonna set some of them to only show if it's on a medium or large device, which means like your tablet or desktop. And we're gonna the other ones that we have duplicated, we're gonna set to show only small devices, so only your cell phone. So to do that, we just click on the duplicate button. And once we've duplicated it, then we can, we'll set the bottom one always to be the desktop version. So we can exit out of here. We can click on the row settings, and under advanced, we can scroll down and it says display. So this one is only going to display on large and medium devices. So we're going to save that. And then we're going to set this one to advanced and only display if it's a small device. So we're going to see both of them right now because we're in the editor. But if we're on the desktop, we'd only see this one. We wouldn't see this one. If we're on our phone, we'd only see this one, and we wouldn't see this one. But right now they look the same, so let's make them look a little different. So let's go to row settings, and let's choose background none, because this is the mobile version. So we're not going to have any background, but then we're going to add in our other image. So let's go ahead and do that. Let's go to add content, and let's go under basic modules. Let's go to photo and click, hold, and drag it in that same row. All right, then we're going to select photos and upload files and select files. Once we do that, we're going to click on this one, the Hero Cardboard Download Mobile.jpg, and we're going to select it. All right, once that happens, it's going to go right in the middle there. It's going to look a little weird, but again, this is only showing on the mobile version of your website. So we're done with that. This shows mobile, this shows desktop, and it's going to look centered because we're not going to have as much space on this side or space on this side. All right, this one is fine. And next we're going to duplicate this one. So let's duplicate it. And again, we're going to set the top one to small. So we are going to edit these row settings and go to advanced and make this small devices only, and save, and go to this one and go to advanced and set this to display on medium and large devices only, and press save. All right, once we've done that, we need these things not to be on top of each other. So we actually need to move this into its own row. So we're going to click, hold, and drag into a new row. But if we do that, then this row we need to set to small also. So go to advanced and set to small devices only. Okay, so right now we have this set to showing only on your mobile phone, and this showing only on your mobile phone, and this showing on your desktop. All right, so they stack up better on the mobile phone. Okay, but we need to change this. Right now, this image is focused on the center, but if we keep it like that, again, we're only going to see the edge of it. So if we focus this image on the left, then when we resize the screen, make it real small, it will focus on this cardboard right here. So we need to edit the row settings. And on position, just make it left center and press save. Now when we resize this, it won't focus on the middle, it'll focus on the left. All right, so we have just 2 more to do. So we're going to duplicate this. And we're gonna set the top one again to this small device. And we're gonna set the bottom one again to the medium and large devices only. And press save. All right, and once we do that, we need to again drag this out because it can't be in 2 columns because we don't have that much space on our phones. So we need to drag it out. And we need to set this one to show only on small devices. All right. So this one's set to small, this one's set to small, and this one's set to large because there's 2 columns because the desktop has more width. All right, once we do that, again, we need to focus it over here because if we remember, we only saw a tiny part of the image because it wasn't focused on the right, it was focused in the center. So let's go ahead and do that. So position, we need to focus on the right center so that it'll focus over here. All right, once we do that, that should be fine. And next we are going to duplicate this. All right, and the top again is going to be our small devices only. And our bottom is going to be our medium and large devices only, or large and medium. All right, but now we have to change it, and I want to change the text. I don't want the font to be so big because it goes too many lines. So we're going to make this 24. And we are going to save that. All right, once we do that, we can press done and publish. After we published it, we can check out our phone. And right now, if we don't refresh it, it looks like this. And you see how the image, you can barely see it on the left here, and you can barely see it on the right. If we click refresh, and this text right here is big, too big, and the lady is there. If we click refresh, hopefully the lady, whoops, I think I just deleted that. All right, let's go back to the domain name. If we refresh, the lady is gone now, and this image is here. And the viewer is perfect. It stacks on top of each other. And this one is perfect because we can see it, and we can see it, and this text fits perfectly down here. The only thing that we have to mess with now is this menu, and that's super easy. So let's go ahead and do that. All right, so to customize the menu, just click on Customize and type header options. Click header options and click on mobile menu. To pull the menu out to edit it while you're here, just check this off and it will pull out. So we want different colors. We don't want these blue colors. They don't go at all. So for the background color, we're going to do a really light gray, and that color code is FAFAFA. All right, but now we can't see the links. So the menu link, we are going to go 27, 27, 27, which is, almost black, but not black. And for the link hover color, that's what color the link is when you hover over it. We are going to go with that orange. So FF6E40. Now when we hover over it, it's that orange. Looks pretty cool. But we don't want any background. We just want it to turn orange without any background. So we're gonna go custom color for the background, and we're gonna make it the same as the background color. so we can't see it. So now it just turns that orange, and we don't want any divider lines. I mean, of course, if you want them, then you could put them, but I don't want them. I just want to make it look really clean. So I'm going to make it the same color as the background again. And look at that, a very clean menu we have there. So I'm going to press save and publish. And I'm going to exit out. And now I'm going to check it on my phone. So if we refresh this, we should see the menu as a whole other color. And that makes us done with making our website mobile friendly. All the other pages are responsive. You know, the home page was responsive also, but all the other pages work fine. So if we look at the About page, that's fine. And if we look at our Services page, it looks fine. So the things have rearranged, and they've done it in a good way. And if we look at the Contact page, it looks great also. All right, and we can always go back to the home page by clicking on the top logo. All right, so that is the end of making it mobile friendly. And now we can go back to the Tyler.com companion website and mark that off. And just one more thing, well, we're 85% done now, but just one more thing. If you can do that on any page, it doesn't just need to be the home page that you do it on. You can do it on the About page, the Services page, the Contact page. Any page, you can use the same techniques to make it super mobile friendly. But all of our other pages besides the home page just happen to work out perfectly. And that's why I only did it on the home page. The next thing that we're going to be doing is making our website social media icons. So what does that mean? So at the bottom footer here, we have these social media icons, and I have Facebook, YouTube, and Google+, but obviously you can use whatever you want. You can put in Instagram or Pinterest or whatever you have. You can also put the social media icons up here, which is pretty cool. And so how do we do this? Well, it's pretty easy. The first thing that we do is go to our website, obviously, and click on Customize. Once we do that, we're going to see over here on the left where it says Social. So just click on that. And again, if this keeps on popping out, we can go to Header Options in Mobile Menu and uncheck this. All right. All right, so just go to Social, and it has, up to 10 accounts here. So we can put in maybe Facebook, and then put the Facebook social media. So I'll just, type in my Facebook URL. All right, and then it's going to say select image. So we have to go to logomaker.com or anywhere, or you could, go to Icon Finder. But I like Logo Maker because then you can color it perfectly. So I'm just going to go to logomakr.com. And I'm going to search for Facebook. There we go. And I'm going to pick all of the icons in the same type of style. So if you want them all hearts or all circles or all rounded squares, I'm going to do all rounded squares. And then we're going to do the same color. So that is FF6E40. It's that orange color. And I'm just going to click on this and change it to that color. So you just click, hold, and drag and make it that color. All right, so now that it's that color, we'll just press save, and I'm just going to save this as Facebook to my desktop. All right, and once that's saved, why don't we do all of them while we're here? So let's type in YouTube, and we'll find the rounded corners, type the same one, and again, we'll make it that orange. So we'll just click on the paint and make it orange. All right, press save, and this one is YouTube. Well, again, save it to our desktop. All right, and then we'll delete that one, and we'll do Google Plus. Google Plus, and we'll again make it that rounded corners. One, click on here, make it orange, save it as Google Plus, and save it to your desktop. All right, so once that is all done and saved, we can exit out of Logo Maker. And you know, it's nice to give credits to the people who have made these logos. So click here to copy credits, and then just make a page on your website that gives these people credit for creating these logos. All right, so once we do that, we can select image, and we can upload files and select files, and we find the Facebook one, and we press open and choose image. I'm going faster because you guys have done this already. All right, once we do that, we can just click this to go back, and it doesn't have our settings right now, but it'll say Facebook here eventually. So let's go to number 2, and this one is YouTube. So I'm just going to type in my YouTube social media URL, and oops, sorry. Let's put in YouTube here. All right, and then we'll select our image and upload files, select files, choose YouTube, open it up, and choose the image. And this is very cool that it's all going to be color coordinated. It's going to make it really professional, have a very polished look. So this one's Google Plus. And let's select image and upload files, select files, and let's select Google Plus. There it is. And all of these icons are in the zip that you downloaded before. All right, if you're making this exact website. All right, so once we do that, we're not going to see anything here. So we need to save and publish. And once we do that, we can exit out, and we still won't see anything here. So go back to customize. And if we look at social, now we can see Facebook, YouTube, Google. But what we need to do is go to our footer options and go to footer content, and instead of nothing, let's put social icons. And now they all appear here. And if you hover over it, it'll say follow us on Facebook, follow us on YouTube, follow us on Google+, which is really cool. Save and publish and exit out of here. And now we have our social media icons, easy breezy. And we can go ahead and check that off and complete lesson. And now we are 89% done. So we are very, very close. The next thing that we're going to do is create a fave icon. So what is a fave icon? A fave icon is the top icon right up here. I don't know if you can see that, but it's a little tiny icon. And to do that, it's super easy. So let's go ahead and minimize this, and it really just polishes off your website. So if you see right here on our website, it doesn't have a fave icon, it just has like a little paper. So how do we do that? So first we go to customize. And then we go to header options, and we go to site identity on the left. All right, once we do that, it says site icon. So it wants it to be 512 pixels wide and tall. So a perfect square that's 512 tall, 512 wide. So we don't have an image that is exactly those dimensions. So let's go ahead and create them in Logo Maker. So let's go to logomakr.com. And we could click off this. And we can see this fave icon, their fave icon up here. It's just a bunch of shapes. It's pretty cool. And so now we need to get that, let's get that Google Cardboard, the logo, in there. Let's get this logo in there. So again, we need to go to iconfinder.com and search for glasses. And again, we need to download the SVG because that's the vector format. So that's the format that can be scaled as big as you want it to be. It could be on a billboard and it won't lose quality. So we download that, and I'm just going to download that to my desktop. And once we download that, we can put it into, just drag it in from your desktop. All right, now that it's in, we need to make it the correct color. We can keep it black, but you can make it any color you want. This is, a bunch of colors. This is just black and white. We're just gonna stick with a nice gray. So just click the paint bucket and make it gray. But now we need to make it bigger. So there's going to be like a logo size and then a cropping size because there's going to be a little space on the side. So the logo size, we're going to make it, if you can see this logo width and height here, we're going to make it 509, I believe. Maybe 5.8. All right, so if we make it 508 wide, and you can see that, you'll be able to see it if you go to Logo Maker. Then up here on the top right, it's gonna turn into 512 by 207. And 207 because this is not very tall. So we need to go ahead and manually change that to 512. And there we have it, a perfect 512 by 512 square. Then we can save that. And let's save it to our desktop, and let's just save it as favicon.png. All right, so that's saved to our desktop, and now the really easy part. We can just select the image, upload files, select files, and find it and open it. And select it. All right, once we do that, we can see up here that it has changed. So that's pretty cool. And we can save and publish. And now our website is super polished off. Let's go ahead up here and let's complete this lesson. And we are 93% done. So we're very close. So close, in fact, that we're done. So yeah, we are done. You never thought it would happen. So let's go over our website and let's marvel at the beauty of it and, just what you built. And it's really awesome. So let's do a quick overview of what you learned because it'll help you remember everything. So we did our intro. We got our domain name in hosting. That's your website name and where all of the information is stored. We installed WordPress because it is the best. We learned how to log into WordPress. Go to yourwebsite.com/wp-admin. We learned how to change your password by clicking on users and in the dashboard on the left. We updated WordPress so that we had all of the latest features and security features. We deleted the plugin so that everyone started on the same page. We did a theme overview. We learned what a theme was. It's basically the skin of a website, and we, or the design of a website, and we learned how to install one. We installed ours from tesseracttheme.com. We learned how to delete pages because sometimes you create pages and you don't want them there. So we learned how to delete them and put them in the trash. And we learned how to add pages because obviously we want to add, some pages to our website. We learned how to rearrange a menu because the menu is, not in order, and we want it to be in the correct order, and we want some items to be at the top menu and some items not to be at the top menu. We learned about the site title and tagline. That's really good for, SEO, and it really describes your website. It's that thing up here. We learned how to create a logo on logomaker.com, logomakr.com. We learned how to edit the header, like the colors, and put in the logo and all of that. and we learned how to edit the footer. We learned how to put in social media icons and edit the colors and change how big it is. We learned how to change the color of the background, the color of the page. Like my background's white. We learned how to do that. We learned how to understand plugins. Plugins add features to WordPress, so they allow WordPress to have more features like contact forms or page builders. We learned how to install the Beaver Builder, which is a plugin that allows people to make the website more visually. We created our home page and our about page and our services page and contact page all in Beaver Builder. And in our contact page, we learned how to put in that contact form. We learned how to make the website mobile friendly so that you can see that on all of your tablets and cell phones, and it works really well. And it shows up different content on your cell phone or tablet than it will on your desktop, which is really friendly, which is really nice. We learned how to put in social media icons so you can connect all your social networks to your website. We learned how to put in our fave icon so it looks really professional and polished off. That's a little icon up here. And we have done our summary. So we're going to press complete, and we are going to do that, and we are 96% done. So congratulations. Thank you guys very much for watching this. I really appreciate it, and I hope that you learned a lot and had a good time and it was fun and you created your website and you'll start getting business or whatever your goals were for that. Please remember to comment, rate, and subscribe. I'm Tyler Moore. Thank you so much, and we are done. 100% congratulations.